This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Lisa, because Lisa's on a mission to give your body the rest it needs, with 2 awesome mattresses plus accessories and bases for a better place to sleep. They also believe in providing a better night's sleep for everybody, and to date they've donated more than 32,000 mattresses through more than 1,000 nonprofits. You can get 15% off your entire order at lisa.com/bombcast and use promo code BOMBCAST. That's LEESA.com/bombcast, promo code BOMBCAST.
Hi, it's Tuesday.
Hello!
It's September the 10th. It's the Giant Bombcast. Hello.
Hello!
Hello. Hi, Matt Rory. Hi, Jeff Gersman.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Jason A. Striker.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, me.
Hello, Brad Shoemaker.
I'm here to talk about whatever it is we talk about on this podcast.
It's
This
really,
week.
it's the great
It's
thing
the
about podcasts is that there are no
smorgasbord.
rules.
Yeah. So it's a verbal buffet.
That's right. The FCC can't tell us shit
All you can listen buffet.
about it.
Yep, that's right.
And
They have no dominion here.
That's right. For now.
So let's just talk about poop and pee for the next. No, let's not do
That was last week.
Okay. This week is going to be
Let's
different.
change it up.
That's right.
Class things up.
You've got this Apple thing running on your laptop.
I do. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Well, no. I mean, it just looks like more of the same.
Harder
I feel
glass.
like the last few things that they've announced has been like, yep, we're still making these, and we have inched everything slightly better.
Matt Rory, you're going to line up.
I
For the new iPhone.
very happy with my Pixel A 3XL,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3A XL.
Yeah.
The camera on this thing seems
looks like
cool.
It looks like the Sam Fisher
Oh yeah,
thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
The
Yeah.
headset.
It's got 3 cameras.
If they all
on
just
the
lit up
stuff, yeah.
green, I might be into it.
Have
Yeah.
they announced pricing yet?
No, they say that for the very end.
1,500, something like that, probably.
Did they say the
I-
words?
I don't- yeah.
Did they say the words iPhone Pro?
They
yet?
they just got to that.
Okay.
Apple TV Plus 2 was
Yeah,
announced.
they
Like,
talked
a lot
about
of
that.
Weird.
They announced that a while back. This
Yeah.
is just like, hey, here pricing, but this is the closest that they've brushed up to like actually having real gaming ramifications.
Yeah.
Not to just fucking get into the news.
Ah.
Are they doing a streaming service too? Probably.
We could just talk
No,
about it
well,
now.
no,
Like a
no,
video
no.
streaming or a game streaming?
game streaming. I don't know.
That is not.
It feels like everybody's doing
They're
it.
doing a subscription service for like games.
Did you see? Did you
but
see
you
that-
still download the games.
Did you see that EA just launched a streaming test?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play
You
some
want
Titanfall
to play
2.
some Need for Speed Rivals
Yeah.
in the cloud?
That's how you know it's a test. They're like, what are the games that are either good but old, or
nobody's
old
gonna-
and bad? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. EA's got a pretty big catalog. I mean, if they launch that kind of thing, that's
Right.
for their entire thing.
If I can play Magic Carpet on my
Well,
phone.
no, I subscribe
Yeah.
to Origin Plus or Origin
Right, it's
Premier.
not-
I don't.
Right,
really,
the
never
high
use it.
tier plus
Yeah,
Premier,
but not $100 a year.
Yeah.
When Andromeda seemed like a good idea to sign up for that, to get Andromeda as part of that membership.
Oh, those heady days.
Anthem and Andromeda coming out soon. Like,
That's $15 a month for that, right?
it was $100 a year. I locked
Okay,
in Andromeda.
so that's I mean,
Not terrible.
it's if like if it
if
gets
those
down to
games
just,
had
like,
hit, I would have been.
were there 2 EA games you might have purchased this year?
Would have to take a look at their lineup. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I thought Anthem and Andromeda were going to be like the two.
You probably would have bought
Yeah.
those and found out they were bad the hard
Yeah.
way. So now you found out, paid this roughly the same amount of money, and now don't own them.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I
it's okay.
want to
It's
play
okay.
I want to play Dead Space 3 again because that's the best Dead Space game.
What?
Just getting right into it. Let's get right into it.
What?
God damn it! Done 600 episodes of this goddamn show. We can't.
Nonsense.
This is a censor button for my opinion.
Yeah.
Dead Space.
Dead Space 3 is not bad,
It's not
though. I mean,
terrible.
like, come on.
It's not
I
a
don't-
terrible game.
I didn't
It's
find
okay.
a way to buy it and down. Maybe I was just the Origin interface might just have defeated me, but I couldn't
Yeah.
find a way to download it and play it.
I'm going to say Dead Space
pay for
3
it.
is the 4th best Dead Space game.
Hey,
You counting that Wii one?
Yeah. That thing was okay.
there's a Wii game.
Yeah, it was
It's
like
a
a light
rail
gun. It was like a
shooter,
light
yeah.
gun kind of game, but it was actually pretty good.
Man, Let's remember the
was
Wii.
okay.
I remember that being like good for a light gun
Yes.
game on the Wii,
Yeah.
not like a good game. You play it and go like, this is better than I thought it would be. For a bad idea, this sure is all right.
They ended up putting it out on PS3 with the Move.
Right.
And that was okay. It was all right.
Sure.
It was okay.
You could do that.
But I mean, Dead Space 2 is a hell of a video game.
It is. I remember.
Dead
I
Space
remember
3
all of
was-
them fondly. I think. By
They all have
experience-
their place,
so.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
there's no...
My experience with 2 was squandered a bit because I got like the Game of the Year edition, like the Ultimate Edition, and it came with all the
the
DLC
armor.
weapons and
Yeah,
armor
yeah,
right
yeah.
at the beginning of the game. So there's no challenge. in
So that was
anything.
fucked up for
Yeah.
pre-orders also because there was console-specific, like you got Xbox armor or there's like PlayStation-themed armor,
That's
and,
right.
and it was like high-end armor.
And you looked vaguely like your console.
Yeah.
I feel like I've already derailed the conversation in the
That's-
first like 5
nope.
minutes.
That's
Anything
what
interesting
we
about
that's
this?
what we bring you in for.
Apple Gaming Plus stuff. I don't know exactly what it is because I haven't paid much attention.
Well, if you think about it, like, you've seen a lot of developers talk about how it's hard to find a place for premium, meaning like games you pay for on a phone in favor of like all the free-to-play stuff. So
Flash
the
of
idea
whatever.
is that Apple would start this subscription service and then kind of like make those types of games make sense for devs.
and they had like $1 billion budget or something to go into this.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
they talk about all the money they have. Talking to a few indie devs that were pitched by Apple. Terms didn't sound very good.
Ooh. Really?
I heard that there was like, oh man, this is like, it was right around the time that the Stadia stuff was going around too, and like the vibe I got was like, hey, both of these big companies are trying to fuck us to death.
Yeah.
And in varying degrees, and so. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case for everybody, but they did trot out big console dev names here at this thing.
Yes.
I mean, classically large.
Yes.
Konami came out.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
There's a new
yeah.
Frogger game.
Yeah.
Coming.
There's a
Are
Frogger
they-
game from Q Games.
Mandating exclusivity for these games?
No, because they did 3 demos on stage, or at least 3 that I saw, and one of them was Annapurna's Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is also coming to Switch and I believe other platforms.
That game looks cool.
Not
It is
related
cool.
to-
It is cool.
But yeah, you
Isn't
can,
there a JRPG franchise called Wild Hearts?
No, that's a different thing.
Wild Arms?
Wild
What are you
Arms.
thinking about?
Yeah. And
Finest.
Vandal Hearts. Vandal Hearts? That's
Yes.
the thing.
Yes.
I got two entirely different games
Yeah.
mashed up in my head.
Frogger in Toy Town.
Yeah, the name for that I think had leaked a while back.
Okay.
So I think people were expecting that yes, there would be a Frogger game as part of the Apple Arcade lineup.
And that's Q Games, not
Yeah,
Q Entertainment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me
Not confusing at all.
triple check.
Yeah, that is yes.
The story doesn't say who the developer is, but
Um,
Capcom announced a game,
Deep Down? No, it's an underwater game.
Shinsekai Into the Depths.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen what these games look like. This
Yeah,
is all,
I was in the car listening to it as I was driving in.
This is all via
and-
like live blog because we were commuting when it was happening.
Yeah.
$5 a month, I believe.
Yep.
Launching on the 19th.
Yeah.
And $5 for Apple TV and probably a bundle of some sort. Like I don't know.
Well,
What
it's
called?
it's across all platforms, and it's across like your whole like family of accounts. So you can have like members of your
Okay.
family, so they all get into
How many streaming services do you subscribe to right now? Jeff?
0.
Just Netflix,
Okay, I have between
which
me
we
and
barely use.
between me and Yolanda. I think we have
Oh, WWE Network. I'm still
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
still a
really?
member of that fucking thing.
YouTube
Gross.
TV, Netflix, Hulu. I now have Uplay Plus, and then I guess I have Final Fantasy 14 as well. So I'm putting like $100.
I
on those.
just got into YouTube. My mom signed up for YouTube
Yeah,
TV,
it's-
and then I'm
decent for what it is.
Yeah, we are.
sure.
Shouldn't say how loud we're sharing a YouTube TV account.
I-
oh,
I-
whatever.
It's-
There's family
it's
sharing.
It's family
There-
sharing.
there
I have
is-
6
there's
people
literally
on
my
there.
family.
They're not all my family, but and they don't pay me. I just got to do it pretty nice. But $50 a month for TV is like getting to be. It's
not bad.
I
watch the NFL a lot, and after the
Okay,
football season,
I've talked about it before, but we have the entire run of Law and Order recorded on that thing.
That does sound all right.
Like if you just add that show to your library, it will record it on every channel that airs it.
Yeah, and you'll
Which is
eventually
like
have it
4
all.
different channels.
I just use Hulu to go back through like 30 Rock and Always Sunny, and,
Yeah.
and that just over and over again. That's like what people do with Netflix and The Office. So it's worth the $13 a month. But apparently, when like Disney Plus is going to roll up into Hulu now or something like a one big bundle.
I think they're doing it as a bundle if you want. I think
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't.
Give it 6 months, and we'll just be everything streaming.
It'll all just be CBS All Access, the
Here we
one
go.
service you need. We'll have it all.
I'm sure you've seen that the piracy statistics are on the rise again as all
Yeah,
these services
for sure.
are launching.
Like that's the thing is like
course.
no one's going to sign up for all of these things because that's why everyone got rid of cable to begin with.
Yep.
Except for Picard coming this December.
Yeah, no,
the
or
one.
yes, people sign up for CBS All Access to watch Picard, and then leave it running. I thought Pluto TV was all right. I guess I should say that's a
Pluto?
Viacom
Yeah.
service. That's,
Yeah,
part,
that
that's
is-
part of us
That
now.
is kind of all right. Yeah, they're heavy
Or
heavy
are
on the
we,
ads.
Are we part
but
of them?
Yes, we are. Well,
it's
yeah.
a nice
I don't know.
lineup of stuff. Sure.
Yeah, but it's they have a dedicated Mystery Science Theater channel.
Exactly.
And
Hey,
they
not
carry
bad.
they carry Buzzer, which is the classic game show.
They'll do
network.
old school wrestling stuff as well. So like
okay.
old WCW
Is
stuff.
that,
Oh,
and-
neat.
is that a streaming only thing?
Yeah.
Actually, the thing that I
And that's
maybe
just free, so I don't know.
Oh,
It's
weird.
It's
Huh.
I don't know what it's, but it has ad breaks in it.
wait,
Yeah.
are they on their own streaming platform, or are they?
Yes,
just, they're not on
its
YouTube
own
or
app
something
you
like that?
download.
Oh, weird.
And it has a channel guide, and it's like a bunch of MTV stations. So it's Viacom owned.
Yeah,
And or CBS. What the fuck is it? What are we called now?
I don't know if they
right.
figured that out.
I
yet.
don't know. And so they have like 9 different MTV channels that are like showing different. Like, you want to watch fucking Road Rules? I'm like, yes, of course I do.
Headbangers Ball!
Of course I do.
24/7.
Now, they don't. Do they? I haven't seen a
I
lot of
haven't
music. It's been a lot of their like,
Oh, that sucks.
like programming.
Yeah, they do have a couple
Yeah.
like MTV2
Okay.
of that vein,
Oh,
I guess.
okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, if there was a
They
channel,
also have the eye candy, which is just like dancing girls, like on the beach.
if there was a channel that just alternated Headbangers Ball and MTV Raps over and over,
Yeah,
I would,
that'd be
I would,
good.
I would
I
be
wonder
into
if there's
that.
like licensing issues for doing music videos this far past the date.
Well,
I don't know.
they probably have to pay the
Yeah, royalties,
whatever
yeah.
the royalties on
Why
it.
bother?
And then, but they they do have ad breaks on it, so I think they're trying to do it like it was regular television. But they do the thing where it's like if they haven't sold an ad, there's just a blank ad break, and then sometimes there's one ad in the middle of that ad break,
Oh,
so
man.
it's just silence for 2 minutes.
Oh,
and
it's like
then-
the ESPN streaming
Yeah,
thing. where it's
exactly.
just ba-dum,
Yeah.
ba-dum,
because they got to keep
we'll
on,
be back shortly.
on their schedule, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Or it's like 3 of the same ad, like back to back to back.
Yeah.
There
Great.
is a
classic streaming service ad breaks.
There was a very, very dark Life Alert ad on football last night, and it goes on for like the first 20 seconds or so with this lady laying on the ground. You could be there for days, you could be there for hours, and the outcomes are never positive. And it's really like Life Alert ads have always been kind of, not to say funny, but if you have anybody in your house, anybody in your life who's like that, it's not super funny, but it's kind of been played for laughs. But
They're just gonna get to a point where it's just you push the button and then it's just an ambulance exploding or something. It's just gonna go like that.
This is dark.
sorry,
Yeah.
games though,
Games.
Apple games,
Games though,
Also dark.
that's not dark.
Nope, not at all. What do we got this week?
One quick question though: were they focusing mostly Apple games on phone games, or are they talking about other
So
platforms?
they were really only showing the phone stuff. The idea though is that the latest version of iOS is supposed to sync to Xbox and PlayStation controllers,
Yep.
and all of this stuff is supposed to traverse. I don't know if it's one-to-one parity, but the service at least will work on a Mac and on an Apple TV.
Right.
So that's the thing where it's like, oh, I should now I'm like, well, I should probably buy an Apple TV so we can like look and see if that stuff is any good.
I think that thing's getting updated today too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Was the rumor?
yeah.
Would you
don't-
need that though? Because I mean, you could just use a MacBook, right? For those games.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a different OS.
Yeah.
Whereas the Apple TV is running a version of iOS. Your Mac is not. So
Apple TV, all I know is that it has the most frustrating controller or remote that
the weird
you'll
slidey
ever
thing.
I've heard that thing is bad.
It's not shaped upside down, or you pick it up upside down all the time and just wind up doing everything
Yeah.
wrong. This is my experience. So.
My understanding is that people that like their Apple TV just use their phone as the remote. So I don't know.
Video games.
Video games.
Yeah.
There's new Gears this week.
Gears is officially out today.
Gears the 5th.
Was it out early for Game Pass people? Did
Yeah,
they do
I
that?
guess
Okay.
last.
So it was a weird tiered
Thursday,
thing that I think
Friday?
this is maybe is the first time they did that, where they've done a thing previously where it's like, oh, if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you can play it early. So they did
Typically
that.
it was like $100 or something.
Yeah. This was
That's a
like
lot.
80, I think it is what it was. But now they also did it with the Game Pass, where if you have Game Pass Ultimate, which is the console and PC combo.
Oh, it was only the big Game Pass
yes,
that got
if
this?
you had big Game Pass,
Okay.
then you could play Gears as of Thursday.
Okay. But if you had regular
Wednesday night or
regular
whatever it
ass,
Regular ass
Single platform,
platform Game Pass
did not get it early?
I
Okay.
think maybe
That's
only
okay.
plays today.
Big early window. I mean, usually it's like 3 days on most other. Kind
No, I think Friday to Tuesday is kind of always
I
what they've
think, but
done.
it wasn't Friday. It might have been Thursday night.
was
So
Thursday,
I guess
yeah.
that's technically Friday.
Sure.
And then I played some Escape last night with Will Smith, who was playing the Steam version
Yep.
before I thought the Steam version was supposed to be out.
No, because if you bought the Ultimate version on Steam, then you were buying the expensive version on Steam.
Oh, so they gave the same
Yes.
leeway to people on that?
Exactly.
Weird.
Yeah.
But then campaign progress does not carry over between Steam.
No one's ever going to...
I know that's a super edge case for people like us.
I found that out,
Yeah.
but yes, your campaign progress does not travel from the Steam version out.
Okay.
Or rather, I'd played a bunch on the Windows 10 store version and on an Xbox, and when I downloaded it on Steam, that progress did not come in.
Yeah, that's a super
But
duper
again,
edge
like
case.
only
like
people
like
no
us
will
are
do that.
the
Like,
only
no
people
one-
that are going to run
if
into
you,
that.
if you don't, because you would
Well-
have it on Game Pass, or you would not.
The only scenario I could see is maybe somebody playing it on Xbox and Steam, maybe.
But then
even then,
like
that's probably
you get the
not
Windows
gonna
Store
happen.
version because
Yeah, even
if
then
you have it on Xbox, you
Yeah.
already have that Windows Store version for free, so
It's-
you would not go buy it on the Steam store.
But then
pretty
you have to use the
unlikely.
Windows Store.
That's true.
It's
Gross. I know.
yeah, it's fine. The stuff's fine. And that new Xbox app that they rolled out as actually
It took forever for me to be fine.
well,
Yeah,
you
it
had
was-
weird.
I've had
you
issues
had
in the
something
past
else going on.
also, but when it works, it's okay.
How you liking Gears? Have
It's-
you seen me beat it?
No,
Did you you haven't finished the campaign
No,
yet?
I didn't.
You're
It's
busy with other things right now.
I really like Gears, but Gears 5, I think, has a lot of stuff that gets in the way of what I enjoy about Gears, which is not how I thought this was going to go. It's got so basically, like, it's a slog, and I got to a point where I was just like, I don't want to fucking do this right now. Because they tried to make it an open world. This is the emptiest, most lifeless open worlds since, like, was it like Mafia 2 was like the classic example, right?
Yeah.
This is worse than that.
Where you just go from story beat to story beat.
Yeah, there's
nothing
like
in
nothing.
between.
There is nothing in the world.
like Rage 2, I heard a lot of complaints about the same
Like
thing.
I mean, that is
Rage 2 at least has enemies.
Yeah, Rage 2 at least like
This is just empty.
Yeah.
by the numbers is a proper open world game.
It's
like this
bizarre,
isn't even
man.
that.
Like it's so, and so it's multiple hubs basically. Like when you get to Act 2 of the game, it's like, okay, here you are in this open world with this vehicle, and you can drive it around and go to the missions that you need to go to, and you there are secondary objectives. So they will kind of point you loosely in the direction of those, and those are the things that you might have to travel out of your way to find.
Sure.
But there's a very limited number of those. So it's not like you're encountering stuff all the time, and it's not like you're encountering things that you're just like, oh man, this was a cool, crazy thing I found out here. It's a good thing I decided to explore. It's just fucking empty.
Yeah.
And then you see a flag and you're like, oh, okay, because the flag will denote like this is an item. If there's a flag in front of this crashed helicopter, there's an upgrade item in there. And you're like, okay, let's stop and get it.
Not like they don't make that clear just by the environment. They have to.
They make it clear that there is a flag.
Okay.
You're just like, oh, if there's a flag there, you should go there.
Yeah.
Basically.
Does it feel like a C priority thing, like to make the world more popular? That just got cut, or based on time?
Maybe
or?
I don't know. Like it's bizarre because like really what it does is so that secondary stuff takes place kind of in that hub, whereas the primary objectives you'll get to a point as you're walking from the flag to whatever, and you'll see a thing that's like, oh, I need to jump down. And you'll see like a little icon that has like an arrow pointing out like you are leaving the hub world. And then you jump down and it says, you know, Act 3, Chapter 2. And it's like and then it's a Gears mission. It's a very traditional Gears mission. You do the thing. It's like, let's get back to the skiff. And then you're back out in the open world. And
So you're never on foot in that open world. You can at least
you
get a
can be, but you'd be,
well, yeah, but
it'd be ridiculous.
But you always have the skiff. Like
the
you can at
first
least-
thing that happens is like you get
Okay.
the skiff and then it's like, now you're in this world.
Like
And you're
you can at least get around it.
and like piloting the
pretty
skiff
quickly.
is fun and it controls well. So there's like some element of that where you're like, man, if they had put things in this world, or like,
What if they put guns on that
or
thing?
if the other player could shoot while they're mounted on it, because like if you eventually get like a full squad of players, a full squad of combatants, not necessarily human players, on that thing. It would be cool if you could get into fights with it or
skiff
something.
combat.
There's just nothing to it, and so I really like it. It is a gorgeous game. I think the story is interesting.
I heard it
more
goes-
interesting than the traditional Gears story.
Heard it go some places.
If it does, I haven't really gotten there yet because so far it's kind of like retreading. Like it's had reveals, but they're the reveals that you anticipated based on the end of Gears 4.
Okay.
You just look at it and go, okay.
You haven't learned the horrible truth yet.
You learn a truth that would be like this game is real big on fucking. I wonder if that's why they took war out of the name, because the whole like message here seems to be war is bad.
Okay.
Like, hey,
Bold.
there's a lot of fucked up. There's sometimes unanticipated casualties. Sometimes civilians get caught in the crossfire. It's fucking rough out there.
Yeah.
And that's been the message. Which again, sure, of course, and that's like compelling enough, but. Like I said, just the pacing of it is broken. And that's maybe the weirdest thing. They've added like a light upgrade system to it. So you have Jack, your robot. You can put an active and a passive ability on Jack, and you can toggle those kind of at will. They just operate on cooldowns. And so the secondary objectives out there in the world all have exactly one upgrade item at the end of them. And generally they are going to be the fourth ability for like, okay, so the Jack's abilities, there'll be one for like you can cloak. And the ultimate ability or the ultimate upgrade for that is you can shoot and stay cloaked.
Sure.
And there is an item in the world that you find at the end of one of these secondary objectives that's like, oh, here's that item. Now we have that unlocked. Mm-hmm. And then there's a second class of secondary missions that have parts, exactly 3 parts. Mm-hmm. And if you go get all 3 parts, you get a different ultimate upgrade for a different ability. Like all the abilities are kind of weighted the same on the menu. So it's not like the one that you have to go get 3 of is suddenly better than the other one. It's just like a bizarre distribution of just like this one arbitrarily requires you to go 3 places to get items instead of 1.
Pad things out a little bit.
Exactly. And so it's like all the open world and all the secondary objectives feel like padding. Like they're not, it's not compelling as a combat scenario. Like the best thing I can say about the secondary objectives is that sometimes you encounter enemies in a wider open area and they are not aware of your presence. Right. If you think about Gears, like it's a funnel, right? Yeah. You're moving forward, shooting shit. Shit is popping up and saying, hey, fuck you, and you're killing it and moving forward. Whereas in these very limited scenarios, you will sometimes encounter a group of enemies that are just patrolling, and you get to shoot one before the encounter starts. And that's it.
Some of the stuff is on the quick look. Like it seems like the arenas are maybe a little more rounded.
Yeah,
more chance
and
to
it's a more
flank and
colorful
stuff.
game. Like it seems like they went out of their way. Like the game boots up into a training mode that is like super colorful.
Yeah.
In a way that's like
it's like kind of almost cartoonish in a way.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this game isn't just gray and brown anymore. I know that's our rep, but
I saw
than that.
I saw some side-by-side clips between that and like Gears 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, the color palette,
Totally.
it's like night and day.
Yeah. And you know, like the whole second act is like this ice world. And so, you know, it's got very different looks. And again, I think it's a gorgeous looking game. Like the cutscenes, just like the lighting is just amazing. There's just some really great shit. The HDR on the Xbox One X version looks really nice. Like it's a really good looking game.
Yeah. It seemed like the self-contained missions off to the side of the open world maybe looked a little better than the open world from what I saw of you playing it.
A little bit. The open world looks nice. Well, okay, so the second open
more
world,
detail
like there's like weather storms and all this crazy shit happening. You're like, this actually looks really amazing. But boy, there's nothing to do there. And so that's like the bizarre like dichotomy. Like the bizarre thing about the game is like when it's just Gears of War, it's fine.
Yeah.
You go like, hey, this is really good Gears of War, or really good Gears. I'm okay with that. And it feels like everything they tried to do to try to make it something more than that detracts from it.
Is it mandatory to do the side stuff, or can you?
No, you can skip it and just not get those abilities, and you know
sucks.
you don't really need them.
Can you tell which one you're getting before you go on a mission?
No.
Oh, that.
But there are not that many of them.
Okay.
So we're talking in Act 2. There are 6 secondary objectives, I think, and 3 of them you get an upgrade item right at the end, and then there are 3 that gets you parts that when you do all 3, you get another one, and that's it.
Dang.
And then there are like 2 or 3 kind of main missions. There's like radio towers you have to get into in Act 2.
Is it an Ubisoft game all of a sudden?
Yeah. I mean, Act 2, literally as you go to a tower and ping objectives on a map. I don't think the following act has that. So yeah, it's a bizarre campaign. It's a bizarre game overall, I think. Like even, you know, like when we start to take the full package into consideration, I think some of the stuff is cool, some of it is not. Some of it feels like they're correcting mistakes from Gears 4, whereas Horde mode just feels like a little more streamlined. They've done away with like the card, of the card setup.
Consumable stuff.
Yeah, the consumable stuff from 4 is gone, and that stuff sucked. So Horde just feels more streamlined. It just feels like Horde again. You know, like okay, you've accept that now. I have a meter that's filling up, and there are character specific abilities.
Yeah,
but none of those feel like game changers.
Not really,
but it's all right. It's something new.
It's nice to have. It's nice to have your choice of character be more than just what model you're using.
Yeah,
because every character has like an alt and a passive. So.
Except you can't duplicate characters. So if you've been, and all the character XP is per character. Yeah. So if you've been leveling up one character and then you join a game and someone else gets that character, you're like, oh well, I guess I have to work on this other character.
Try somebody else. Time to try Linda Hamilton.
Ugh.
I will say the single best thing they've done in this game, assuming this wasn't in Gears 4 and I forgot, is that you can active reload a full magazine now. You don't,
right.
you don't have to shoot some rounds out of your gun before you can do an active reload.
Well, they've got a meter kind of
Yeah,
governing.
now there's like a
some of that
cooldown
stuff.
on an active reload instead, but you can just sort of charge your whole magazine without.
They've made some minor changes around the edges to that stuff. That like that boot camp thing at the beginning is actually pretty useful because it's like, hey, we changed the button you use to activate the chainsaw.
Yeah,
and hey, we've got a lancer that has a grenade launcher on the end of it now, and that's a fun secondary fire.
It's a fun grenade launcher.
It's a good grenade.
It's weird because you kind of paint a target right with a laser,
and
but then
it
it
kinda-
sort of arcs in the air
does,
and
yeah.
like rains down. It's almost
Mortar.
more like a mortar than an actual grenade launcher.
It's really good though.
It's in Horde. It is incredibly useful.
Sure.
I've never liked the way the grenades felt.
I've
Gears
just
of
been
War.
terrible with them.
Yeah,
Even like you.
I was
can-
watching the quick look, and I just
Yeah,
remember
this
it's just
This is a totally different
okay. Good.
weapon. This is the first Gears I've ever played as a mouse and keyboard game, and I am enjoying it way more now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
having that
cannot play that game with a mouse and keyboard.
Really?
It just
Huh.
it feels so wrong. There's
The
something about the
movement I
weight-
can see.
Yeah.
Movement I can see, but it's specifically just the aiming, the precision.
sure.
Because
Of
Gears has
course.
always just felt like kind of a mushy, kind of imprecise game to me. Like
Yeah.
having that fine aim control is making it feel like a different game.
Yeah. I think it's like it's good. Yeah. Anyway, so there's also escape mode, which is like the new mode.
Yeah.
I have not been able to play through a whole one because Xbox Live was on fire for several days, and I kept getting kicked out. But like my experience with Escape was joining a game, a player just running, me trying to follow, and then eventually either getting kicked out of the game. It said I got kicked, but because Xbox Live was so flaky, I wonder if just the whole game crashed out or whatever. But
Like I was finishing matches without any XP or rewards ringing
there
up
was some weird stuff
all
like that.
weekend, and then like the next day they would be there. It was just flaky. But I played a whole Escape last night.
Okay.
And you're not missing much.
Yeah,
What is the game mode?
It's 3 players. Like you start on a timer, right? There's kind of like you are trying to get from the start to the end, and there is like a gas that is slowly following you as you get out.
Are you planting the gas bomb?
You are trying to blow. You are
Like, that's you,
infiltrating the hive and blowing it up.
Yeah.
And then it's like at some point it says venom triggered, and then
So you got a mini map where you see this green cloud just like creeping through the level
Like
behind
a
you.
Battle Royale kind of.
sure, a little
You
bit.
just kind of like that.
Yeah.
Except it spreads a little more organically. It's just like this kind of cloud of goop.
Okay.
Floating behind you.
And then it's the 3 players charging forward. Ammo is very limited. So
you start with just a pistol and you have to find.
Yeah, so you find stuff on the
Weapons
way. You
and-
don't really seem to find a lot. Also, there's a map editor, so the idea being that you can kind of piece together your own hives.
Of course, I mean, the downside of that is that at least the map that we played last night feels very much like it's pieced together out of prefab rooms.
It just felt confusing. It was like confusingly designed, and so I think they'll rotate out what their hive is every week. So this week's hive seems real bad.
Which is weird because there's like a sort of past hives option in the menu, and there's like 3 past hives already, even though the game just came out.
they've been
It's like-
testing it.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's kind of strange. But we got to the end of that mission, and there was just nothing. No
So
boss
there's no
fight.
like confrontation. It's just like you escaped.
There was
Yay.
a slightly bigger confrontation with the regular enemies at the end where there were like maybe twice as many enemies as previously, but then we just killed them and walked through a door, and then we got evac'd. And that was
boss
it.
fight?
Yeah.
No boss fight, no nothing.
I have not messed with the map editor yet.
Maybe
but my
you could-
understanding is that you cannot place larger enemies. So like you can't put a Swarmack in there or something like
Troll
that.
people by making.
It was just we got to the end, and I think I quite literally said, "Wait a minute, that's it?" Like I expected, because you even like come out onto a platform where it's like, all right, this is the place where the big enemy is going to climb up that we have to kill. But
And then it's just like,
nothing. It
congratulations.
just went to a cutscene, and then we were done. It does have the it's like a kind of Halo Skulls style difficulty modifier.
Oh right.
System.
Yeah.
So you can like, cut your health in half,
Mm-hmm.
like double the amount of damage enemies do, like make the gas like double the speed that the gas
Yeah.
fills the level and stuff like that.
There are rewards for that? Like,
Yeah, so it's got a neat little, because you're getting the cards, the like modifier cards that are all colored for rarity,
Yeah.
and there's a neat little like radial, like on the default difficulty in Escape, it's just a green ring, and then as you add more of those difficulty modifiers, like some blue will creep on there, and then some purple, and then some
it's like
what orange I guess is the next rarity.
Yeah.
the
and
Like,
odds of
the higher
them.
you bump the difficulty, the more like rarer cards you're getting out of it. So it seems like a way to just kind of grind cards quickly.
So are there? Okay. So they're not
Except that
consumable
our
cards.
except that our rewards didn't pop at the end of
Yeah.
the mission because the servers were jacked. So I don't know what I got.
Are you earning cards? Because there are cards that you get for just leveling up.
Yeah, the implication seemed to be. You
But I
were
guess
getting
yeah.
cards
Okay.
out
Yeah.
of
You do
this.
get cards because that's right. Because I got 2 of the same card and could level up the card to
Yeah.
make it like. I got that Horde mode as a similar setup.
Okay.
So I think when I finished, like I played like 25 waves of Horde, and then I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't have time to see this through the 50 right now. And then bopped out of it, and then it said like, okay, you got I had a 5% faster reload card, and I had 2 of those, and combined them and said, you have 7% faster reload now. So there's that element as well.
Okay.
But you needed some kind of currency to. It seemed like it was costing me 0 iron to combine level 1s to level 2, but it let me know that it was 0 iron in a way that's like, oh, I'm sure at some point this is not just going to be combining cards. You need a currency as well.
There are microtransactions for that kind of stuff?
I don't.
You can buy. Yes.
Okay.
There are 2 currencies from the looks of things.
Sure.
I'm not sure what they are both named, but there's a paid currency, and then you can use that currency right now to buy cosmetics and stuff like that. So
It seems like strictly cosmetic stuff.
yeah,
like-
exactly. Like it didn't seem like there was.
You buy that Forza Street blood spray.
I got that naturally. I got that on a drop.
Huh.
Yeah, it's when I kill someone with a gun, it makes a blood spray that shows the free-to-play Forza Games logo, which is fucking nonsense in the best way.
God. Bring back the
I wish they
Burnout
would.
Paradise billboards in the background.
I wish they leaned into that absurdity a little bit more.
Well, it's a bunch of their games. So there's
Yeah.
like a Forza Motorsport 7. There's a Wasteland.
There's like the eye of a T800 because they've got Terminator stuff all over that game.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Terminator in what game? Forza?
in
In Gear 5.
Wow,
There's
okay.
a big tie-in with the new Terminator movie.
You can play as Sarah Connor. That's
Yeah.
pretty rad.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's
I will play as a T800 at some point.
Yeah.
Like that looks fun.
yeah.
But
The Sarah Connor dialogue seemed pretty
Oh,
rough.
is it?
did they get her
Pretty rough. I
Oh, no.
think so.
to do the voice?
I think so.
Man, I don't know. I wouldn't
'Cause
show up for that. If
Mortal
I was-
Kombat did not get Arnold.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But maybe she went into the studio.
Do they have like at least a credible impersonator?
Well, like I
haven't
said,
heard
I
it.
couldn't tell. But,
Okay.
it,
A lot of people can do that voice
Yeah.
now. So
if it sounded no, not Arnold. I mean the Linda
Linda,
Hamilton.
okay.
Actually, you're right. Like a lot of the banter in Horde was just like, man, these characters never shut up, and it's really
And none of it's great.
Yeah.
And it's
the only stuff I appreciated. I was playing JD is that every time I missed an active reload, he would like talk shit to his gun. He'd be just like, "Oh, thanks a lot, gun," and stuff like that. Like it was kind of amusing. But,
there's just some bizarre stuff around the edges of that game that I think like they took a shot and I think they
Yeah.
missed.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, like
I mean, they needed
with
to
the,
try
with the new
something.
stuff. They tried something though, and that's cool that they at least are trying to change it up. But I just don't feel like that the stuff that they added this time around is that big a deal.
No.
In versus mode, they're trying to address the problem of like, hey, a lot of people play this and have been playing it for years and are really good at it. And so they've added like some more casual style playlists, and there's like a gun game equivalent and stuff like that. But it's still it's the versus mode, just with different rules. It didn't seem dramatically different. They've got kind of a kill streak or a you can buy a heavy weapon basically, and kind of spawn it on you immediately once you get like 3 kills or 5 kills, whatever, that sort of thing. None of that stuff seemed like big game changers. Like it is still kind of that style of competitive play. So you're either into that or you're not. And I think at this point, I'm not really into it anymore.
Yeah. Horde seems like the draw.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
in multiplayer. Still.
I would very much like to play some more Horde.
No.
At some point, I will probably finish the campaign, but it's just like coming out of that first open world and being dropped into another one that was equally empty and just like it just makes the things take forever. You're just like, I kind of want to see this story advance, but I got to fucking cruise all the way across this empty ass world.
Yeah.
Did
you
to
say
get there?
Did I remember you saying you heard there was not that in the last act?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like all I saw was like the list of like if you go in game and you look at like how many collectibles you have.
Okay.
It breaks it out by chapter in act, and then it seems like it is the last. It looks like the last act does not have enough chapters in it to support the type of open world stuff they did in acts 2 and 3.
Okay.
So that's where I'm getting that from. I could be wrong because I haven't seen it yet. But like,
uncommon. A lot of games.
yeah,
do that.
exactly. Yeah.
Middle acts are bigger than.
But
the last act.
that stuff just. Yeah, that Act 3 open world looks great, but boy, there's nothing to do in it, and that's just weird. It's just weird.
I might finally do the thing that I've never done before with one of these games, which is just play the multiplayer and not touch the campaign.
Huh, yeah.
How long have you spent on the campaign so far?
I don't know. Not that long.
Okay. It just feels long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a drag, and also I'm doing what side stuff there is, because I might as well.
I'm curious to hear if it pays off and like where it leaves the state of the franchise, because I feel like they're at the point where presumably there will be a new console in the near future.
Right.
Like, are they going to push to a Gear 6 on the next platform, or they kind of cut it here? And
I mean, they've got a
pivot.
they've got a studio dedicated
I
to
know.
making Gears of War.
But I mean, they could, like, depending on how this ends, it could be somewhat of a reboot for the franchise. Next time out.
Sure. Instead of a new trilogy or whatever. But when I think about where the story is, where it's likely to go through the rest of this game, I think they could probably go. When I think about how much is left in Gears 5, again, looking at how many chapters there are and stuff like that, I think Gears 6 is very much a finish the fight type of moment again, just like 3 was.
Well, we probably I thought the same thing coming out of Halo 5, and now they seem to be trying to pivot with the 6th one of those. But, and
that might have more to do with the reception of Halo 5.
Yeah.
Then
we'll see how this is received over time, I guess.
Yeah.
This is the only Microsoft first party release this fall, right?
I think so.
I think. Huh.
At least in terms of like big disc based, there's
right.
Might be some.
Running out the clock.
Play the Funko Pop game.
Yeah.
I know some people on forums were.
Yeah, I fucked with it for a little while. It's
So what do you expect?
It's a Clash Royale clone.
I'm holding out for Gears Tactics.
There you go.
Yeah, like honestly, again, like
that sounds cool. Actually,
if you made an XCOM-ish sort of game with the Gears of War, like
those characters already know how to hide behind
like
waist high cover.
It's all right there. It's all right there.
What's that game that Julian Gollop's working on? The new XCOM
Phoenix.
It looks so
Phoenix Project
looks so neat.
I cannot remember. Phoenix. Oh, this is going to kill me.
I wonder if that's coming out this year. I know it's been in development for a long time.
I think Vinny saw that at E3, right?
It's not Phoenix Point, is it?
Yeah, Phoenix Point.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Apropos of nothing, you mentioned XCOM.
Yeah.
I should go back and play XCOM 2. I never got into it because of the timers on all the missions, but I hear you can mod those out.
I mean, they've probably fixed a lot of the technical issues too, but I finished that game at launch and was just like, man, fuck this game. Like XCOM 1 was so much better.
Buggy. Speaking of buggy games,
yes.
I played a bunch of Breakpoint beta this weekend.
Yeah, we watched you play. That's Ghost Recon
Tom
Breakpoint.
Clancy's
Ghost Recon Breakpoint, starring John Bernthal. Okay, that's the full title, as far as I understand.
And his dog.
That looks a little rough.
It looked pretty rough.
UPF.
We played a bit on UPF. If you're a premium subscriber, you can go back and check that out. Speaking of Giant Bomb Premium.
Speaking of John Bernthal.
Always available. Yeah. No, I installed on my home computer. It played much, much better on my home computer. We have a 2070 in that machine, right?
Yep.
So mine's a 1080 Ti at home. It's a little bit more powerful of a card, but it was barely playable here on medium, and at home it worked on ultra. Pretty fun.
Weird.
I don't know if because I was talking to a lot of people on Twitter, and they all seemed like, at least a couple of them said it was much worse the first day. Maybe because of server stuff, maybe because they patched it or something like that in response to feedback, but. It was a really weird beta weekend because it was, if you sign up for Uplay Plus, you get this beta, which I'm feeling they had this orchestrated well in advance, like whether this game needed a beta or not, it was going to get one to push Uplay Plus.
I mean, beyond the visuals, just what you were doing in that thing seemed pretty boilerplate.
I made a fucking bad mistake and missed a car, and I had to walk like a click and a half to get to the next location. So that was pretty boring, I admit. But once you open up the hub world kind of thing, you get a lot more options. You can start talking to people. There are a few more missions that I did. That game seems really neat. It seems really promising, I should say, at this point. It played a lot better at home, which made it a lot more easy to bear. But there's a lot of cool stuff in it. And the biggest change here is from Wildlands, which I liked a lot. Wildlands had those 3 AI components, AI teammates that you were controlling all the time. They basically made the game kind of trivial because it was very easy to kind of just tell them to shoot people and they'd shoot them. Outside of some weird bases.
It was like fun in a weird way.
It was super
you
fun.
felt so overpowered. You're just like, I'm just calling the shots and watching these people drop.
And then you compared it to playing co-op, which I did with community members a few times. And that is fun in its own very weird way. Because there's so many ways to fuck up in that game.
Yeah.
Because unless you're coordinating very well, it's just a chaos immediately.
It was like I found myself only playing co-op in Wildlands when I wanted it to fuck up.
Yeah.
Because
it's a great streaming game if you ever go back to it.
But it just made it chaos because human players less reliable than your perfect AI teammates.
Yeah. It was
Breakpoint seems like designed to like address like, oh, we maybe fucked this up last time.
So the thing now is you make a character at the beginning, you get shot down to this island that's ruled by this tech company, this Skell Corporation, and they are in business with some shady characters. They have their own, like, apparently a private military police that kind of rule over the island, but there are also native people there that you have to help and everything like that. But the tech stuff is really interesting. Those games are always super complicated. Like we were talking about mouse and keyboard versus controller. I think what I'm going to do again is to use controller for vehicles and mouse and keyboard for shooting because it's so much easier to do that.
I think that's actually where a lot of my like PC open world, like that type of game where a lot of it breaks down is I don't like driving vehicles on a keyboard and mouse.
They never really work great in Wildlands or this game as far as I can tell. I got into a helicopter and just going up and down and doing stuff like that. It's just a little more complicated than I like it to be. But there's some cool stuff in there, like there are drones flying overhead that'll paint you if they see you, and they'll mark you for like inspection, so people will come rushing at you if you stay in one place for too long. You have to get out of the sight of the drone. You have your own drone.
Shoot down the drone.
I tried it. It was a little too far up. Like most, real world drones are not shootable distances. So there's some really cool tech stuff. There's a lot of crafting. And so I didn't delve into it much more than like a few more hours than what we did. But playing as a single person, it definitely made There's a mission that you fly over. So if you're in a helicopter, you'll fly over to tell you where side missions are. It's like, hey, if there's a side mission close to you, you can opt in. The UI is really kind of overdone, I think, in this game. It's a lot of, you saw it, but like the menus and stuff like that. There's just so many things to keep in track of. But they have this like quest log where you have to pin quests to your UI on the main screen. It feels like a really weird version of a quest log that has worked fine in every MMO ever. Yeah. Just make them all there. Let me hide what I want. And you can do it, but it's really fiddly.
So it's a loot game, right?
Watching
you play it on Friday, it's certainly, I mean, there's a straight up character screen with a gear score and slots to
two
put all your
guns,
stuff in.
2 guns, a sidearm, and then I think 5 slots. And I got some green items and white items, so it does look like
that really took me by surprise because the Division 2 is what, 6 months old?
Yep.
Right.
There was a
two Tom Clancy.
Well, it's the weird thing.
Loot games.
You've got like all these teams around the world working on different Tom Clancy games. Yeah. Like that style of game is in vogue. So the different teams are like, it feels like the teams are not necessarily getting out of each other's way in some cases, but also maybe they don't need to. I don't know.
I love the Division 2, and I think that game is one of the best like pure shooters in a long time. Like the way you move around cover and orchestrate your attacks and everything like that is super smooth. And that game has gotten a lot better since it launched.
Division 2, to be fair, is like that's an urban cover-based game, and this is much more of an open world, like vehicles and like a kind of a jungle environment, so a lot more organic. I mean, it's not exactly the same game.
It's not the same kind of thing, but they are moving closer together, which I think is a concern for some people. I mean, I came and went from Division 2. I played that game almost entirely solo. Like I never really teamed up with anybody, except for a few times here and there for streams. But that's the way I'm going to play Breakpoint 2, probably just mostly solo. I'll stream some stuff with some community members, I'm sure, but it seems solid. It doesn't. The thing is, like, if I have to choose one to play for like half an hour, do I choose this or Division 2? This is the newer, so I might just opt into it for a bit. But hopefully, the story goes places. It seems like it's competently done. So
I feel like with Wildlands, I was kind of playing it, even though for a lot of my time with that game, I didn't much care for it.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, the dialogue's terrible, the story's really bad. But it was still like, it was just good enough to keep me going through it. And then by the end of it, I was like, you know what? I had a better time with this than I thought I would by the end.
Oh yeah, it was just fun. It was goofy. I mean, they had some big moments. But the weird thing was, I'm pretty sure they were hiring for like a lead writer or a head writer for Breakpoint in like February. So I'm like, I can't say that for 100% certainty, but I'm pretty sure I saw a job.
Hopefully they don't piss off any nation states this time.
Yeah, this is a whole new.
This is all Venezuela tech companies.
Who was it?
Venezuela?
Bolivia?
Bolivia, yeah.
I think last time.
Yep, it was set in Bolivia. But it's like, this is a.
Did not go over well.
They had a warning right in the front. They should have read it. This is not intended to be accurate representation of Bolivia.
There's been movies set in Bolivia.
It seems fun. I only played a few more hours, like I said, and the difficulty level does seem significantly higher, even on the regular difficulty without your AI.
Do you think that's because you're playing alone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it seem like, I wonder if it's going to be like crazy tuned for multiplayer?
I fought a base where I had to find a boss and kill him, but the thing is now there's a bunch of civilians too. Or there were civilians in Wildlands too, but this is making a point like you can't kill these people or they will. Yeah. I don't know what'll happen. I didn't try. Not that much of a sadist, but definitely was a lot more difficult. You had to hunker down, find some cover, and there are also mortars too still. So they'll as soon as they see you, you'll get that burp, burp, burp. Yeah, and they'll start pegging you with mortars.
It's weird because it's like there are parts of this where it feels like natural to talk about it in the context of Wildlands, but it really does seem like such a different game in a lot of other ways that like it's been hard for me to wrap my head around Breakpoint until watching you play the beta and seeing some of the menus and stuff. Yeah, because every time they've showed it off, I've been like, is this meant to be like a follow-up to Wildlands? Because that's kind of how they're presenting it, but it doesn't really seem like it is.
I feel like they were selling it as a survival game, partially, because they were talking about like, oh, you're going to have to like heal injuries and deal with different types of afflictions and
you
stuff.
You have like a free Band-Aid that can, it's kind of like, what's that game where you had to, like Far Cry?
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Far Cry 3, you had like the free one that it'd take a really long time. Or you get syringes that are quick. Other grenades and everything else. You have your own drone. And there's a huge skill tree too. Like the skill tree, I didn't even poke around at the farther edges of it. But it seems like it's class-based now. You have like 4 classes you can pick from. So they've added a lot of those systems that are kind of de rigueur in shooter games now. Like Division 2 went to classes too after the end game. So it seems like there's probably some weird board meeting every year that all the head designers come up with and try to bounce ideas off each other. And maybe they're bleeding together too much. We'll know more when Watch Dogs comes out, because Watch Dogs seems like it has. Man, for a game, for company making video games, they have some weird issues with tech companies, because like Watch Dogs is the same way. Watch Dogs 2 is the same way. This game is all about an evil tech company.
I mean, it's that's very now, right? Like,
Sure.
Yes, these feelings kind of permeate the
and
culture.
also the tech companies don't fight back the way Bolivia does.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
It seems like it has a really good look. I hope the performance can improve a lot before release. They have about a month, I think. It was running on Ultra on my 1080 Ti, and it was fine-ish. There's some weird like depth of field stuff going on with cinematics, especially like it was. I don't think the models were adjusting to the up close camera. They were still like far away, so they're a little blurry. But the benefit of playing solo is that you have in-game rendered cutscenes now, which good or bad. Rather than rendered ones like you do you have to go to the hut and talk to the person in Wildlands. This is like more Fallout style, like face-to-face kind of stuff. I didn't see any dialogue options. I'm not sure if they got that far down the pipe, but it seems neat. It seems promising. I really hope it was a bad first impression for sure. That beta on Friday was like we tried. I think it defaulted to Ultra on the 2070, and it would go for about 30 seconds and hitch for 5 and just stop responding to any movement.
Yeah.
Once I bumped it down to medium, it was a little more playable, but there's still a lot of bugs. So hopefully they'll patch. I mean, that game is already probably being printed on disc, so I'm sure they're working on the day 1 patch now. But I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah. That's out in like, 3 weeks or something?
October. It's a 3-day early on Uplay Plus. I think it's like October 2nd, September 30th, or something like that. It's close to those dates.
Man,
I know. It's really close.
We are in it, huh?
Yes.
We're getting there.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Although after this week, there's like not much else out this month. I mean, there's lots of stuff, but nothing like at the tier of the Gears or something like that, or
Gears tier.
Well, my last thing to say about Breakpoint is I'm curious if the timing.
Gears.
The timing on that release might be because they started the
Gears.
Uplay Plus free month like right before I think it winds up being that free month ends like maybe the day that Breakpoint comes out.
Yeah.
So you maybe get a day of that, and then if you want to play more, if you're on Uplay Plus, you got to sign up for the next month. Which timing is fine.
Of course,
they're going to make it that way.
Yeah,
sure.
Like of course they're going to do that.
But it's then you wonder, is this all time to the point where that game is not going to be 100% finished? I don't know. We'll see in a month.
Yeah, games are weird. I mean, the streaming service, the subscription service stuff, I think changes a lot of the conversations around.
Sure. This was time. They had these dates in mind probably a year ago or something.
But think about something like Gears and Game Pass, and we ran into this with Crackdown 3 earlier in the year.
God, I totally forgot Crackdown 3 came out this year.
I know.
We're already just laughing at the mention of it.
Yeah,
that's how good that game was.
But like that's it changes the conversation about like should you play this game, all this sort of stuff. Like Breakpoint for $15 because you signed up for a month and then canceled. Yeah, or got your free. Can you get your free month later?
I think it ends. You have to sign up. I forget. You sign up, and I think you maybe.
I wasn't sure if it was like a rolling 30 days.
I know it's within the 30 days. I'm not sure if it ends at the end of the month or if it rolls over.
Well, but like with something like Game Pass, which I feel like we're increasingly recommending, like, hey, you should sign up for Game Pass. Like it's if you play on Xbox. Yeah. There's a lot of games there. It's getting there. And then the Origin Premier and the Uplay Plus stuff. Yeah. That stuff feels a little more
Uplay Plus
like a tougher sell to me because
I would get more use out of Uplay Plus for sure. Just even going back and like I've never played Far Cry Primal. There's a bunch of older games.
You're okay.
Yeah, sure.
But also like
Far Cry New Dawn is well worth a $15 expenditure.
What I say, like, hey, if you're already in on this service, should you play the games available on it? Absolutely. And so like that's the thing, like Crackdown 3 as a game where we say like, do you buy this for $60? Like, absolutely not. Like, don't. Yeah. That's crazy. But as a thing, because you signed up to play these other games, like, why not? Yeah. Why not play Crackdown 3?
Try.
It's not terrible.
Sure. Yeah. My concern is basically friends lists. Like, if I'm locked into Uplay Plus and I don't have the Steam friend list, because finding people to play Wildlands with because I got Wildlands as part of a throw-in for my video card. Right. So I had to redeem it on Uplay Plus. Mm-hmm. Going back, I would have probably just bought that game on Steam had I known how hard it would be to find people to play with.
Yeah,
so
that stuff being
Uplay Plus really needs a lot more. And hopefully with the Uplay in general, the platform needs more people on it.
Have you tried GOG Galaxy.
I have not tried the new version. I was really interested.
Is that out?
I don't think
They're running a beta. You can
Okay.
sign up for. I got
opted
in a while
into
back.
it. I opted into it, but I haven't installed it. It seems really neat. Like it tracks. They're going
trying-
a whole different way than everybody else. Like they just
Supposed to
Yeah.
be, for people that don't know, it's supposed to basically be a universal launcher for every PC platform, right?
Yeah, that's and GOG obviously is its own store, but it's also now they've got these. You can interact. You can basically like add your Origin account and your PlayStation Network and Xbox Live and Uplay. I think that's all of it.
Those games are the big seller there is that they're DRM free, correct? Like almost everything on that
On GOG,
thing?
yeah. Whatever. The big seller is. It seems
Old
like the
games.
thing that they're trying to do is say, if you buy Cyberpunk here, we get more money.
Yeah.
Like that's their like it seems like their pitch, honestly.
They've said they're very open. They're going to launch it on everything, Steam and everything else. But
I checked out GOG Galaxy because they're doing achievement tracking and they're doing so because they pull in your Xbox Live account, your PSN account, your Steam account.
who would be crazy enough
Like
to do that?
So like I'm looking at it going like, fuck man, I wish we still did this because it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was.
But also a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And so they list the separate they list the account tie-in stuff as like community interaction, like almost like the community integrations, almost like they're like unofficial, like we don't do this. Community members found a way to into PSN. It's not us. Like it seems strange, like almost like a hands-off thing. But I don't know. Like it tracks like hours played and achievements earned and
Like
stuff.
all the Xbox
when
stuff?
it can.
Okay.
Because it reads your Steam profile. Steam knows how long you've played a game, so it can pull hours from that. It can pull achievements from that. But I don't think it can't pull hours from like a PSN game. Probably. If I had to guess.
Was that the kind of stuff that Epic Games Store got in trouble for tracking Steam stuff, or is that
They were just pulling in friends lists, but there was another thing that they yanked out. There was some other thing that they were tracking.
I remember
think,
everybody's really mad.
People were perpetually mad, but I think there was one thing in that was actually like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And they were like, "Oh, fuck, we did not intend to do this way," or whatever they said.
Or we didn't intend for you to notice.
Well, yeah.
We should look at
Epic.
GOG.
That was the other one. It pulls in your Epic account.
I wouldn't mind seeing what that looks like.
It's
just because nobody's done it in so long,
right?
I still like that concept.
It's kind of messy, but like so. Anyway, my point with all of this is that it tries to pull together all your friends lists to recommend GOG friends, and so I wonder if there would be a reverse way to like in the case of like I'm trying to build this Uplay friends list. Like
well,
I
for
wonder
me,
if you
it'd
could
just be Twitter.
if
Probably.
Exactly.
I ran into a weird situation with that because I think I talked briefly last week that I finally tied all my Bungie accounts together or all my Destiny stuff, but I actually finally like signed in proper on the PC with my
I haven't ported
my
yet.
now 5-year-old character.
Yeah.
And I was in a PS4 clan on that character. So now I go to my clan tab and I see the like you and like 3 other people from that clan who have moved to PC, and that's the entirety of the clan now.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's pulling in currently your Battle.net friends. Obviously, that'll change to your Steam friends.
I would have
next
figured
month.
that it would have just been like, hey, clans are multi-platform now.
No. So people,
But
I'm in that same Giant Bomb clan that we were
yeah.
in. People still playing on the PS4 presumably will still see a very well-populated clan.
Right.
But for us, there were like 5 members or something.
So the thing I was wondering is if the rewards still carry, because I think they might.
Yes, I was still able to get all the clan ingrams.
Exactly. So that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah. Sometimes it's nice to have people to run Nightfall. If you're into stuff like Nightfalls, you need people to play with. But I probably will end up joining
As long as I'm getting the engrams.
Yeah. There's lots of PC clans that will also get you.
There's a bunch on our forums, I think, still active.
Yeah.
So if you go down there, we also have an unofficial Discord for Destiny 2, I think.
Yeah.
Remember that game shipped without fucking clan guild chat in the game on the PC too?
Yeah.
And now you can just like straight text chat with people, which was weird to see.
Yeah, there's also like town chat, which seems...
I'm super excited to get to play through Shadowkeep on the PC now instead of console.
Fantastic. As much as I hated a lot of the way that game launched, it is a really good shooter.
Yeah.
It's really fun to play. I don't play very
I've heard.
much anymore.
Yeah,
I kind of went to Division 2 hard for a couple months and kind of got away from it. But
I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
Yeah.
Like I've been just every month or so, I'll be like, oh, right, Destiny. I'll load it up and collect all the engrams. And
all the stuff they're doing about like, I mean, I don't know if you've kept up with like, you can basically just like, if you get a piece of armor now, you can just hit down and get like every other piece of armor you've ever collected and change it into that design instead if you want.
Oh, is that stuff in now? Okay, I thought
no, not yet. I think
okay,
that's what's coming later.
Okay,
is my understanding.
That's the stuff with Shadowkeep. I thought. Or with New Light or whatever.
They've just gotten really generous with stuff like that. And like,
it's all just like quality of life stuff that other games have done. That
Totally,
they're like, oh, we don't need to try to monetize every single aspect of this or try to make everything a weird grind.
Right. Like you can shard all of your cosmetics now because you can get pretty much all that stuff back more easily later.
Like they kept popping up notifications like, "Hey, get rid of all your shit because the currency's changing in October."
Like it is to your benefit to do this.
Yeah, like weird.
Yeah.
That game is still really esoteric in that you find a lot of weird shit that you don't know how to do unless you go to the internet and look it up. And that's fine for what it is. But I was tired of having all these like weird tokens for quests that they weren't actually tracked as
like
quests.
like when I look at like my pursuits list or whatever, it's full of a bunch of shit that's just like this machine gun
Rammed
frame
full of stuff
and this
that I don't
other-
remember.
Like, all right, I don't know.
Going back to it after some time off is
it's tough.
you might as well just scrap
I
everything.
think I'm just going to have to write all that stuff off and just kind of effectively start fresh.
Have you gotten into like 640 armor? Because they start you off with like the event going on. They'll just give you like all new armor. That's you can
like I
upgrade.
thought about doing that because it feels good to see the number go up, but then I was like, wait a minute, the new expansion's coming in 3 weeks. Like I will just wait and do that again.
And like
then.
all the items you get at the start of that event are 700s, but they're all greens.
Oh,
Bro, but I thought there were less than that, but like broken.
They're broken, but they're 700 with no like they don't have abilities on them.
oh,
and stuff,
I wonder if
so-
I'm actually too low to play the new.
and so if you
Expansion. I'm 600 right now.
No, I was well under that when I bought.
No, I'm talking about the one that's coming out.
I think
that
their whole point is that the expansions are now going to be just spokes off a hub and not something you play in order. Like that was one of the big things they talked about with like their part of how they're reorganizing the game.
Right.
Is the idea of like you play through the tutorial and then you play anything you want with your friends. It's all just fucking there.
So like maybe the base campaign that shipped with the game and Forsaken and the Shadow like are all things you can just do piecemeal.
I think that's the idea.
That's kind of what Destiny 1 ended up turning into.
Yeah.
They reorganized all the story missions into like separate quest lines that you could pursue. That seems like the right way to go.
Man,
it seems like the right way to
It's
go.
the right way to go with a live game this many years in.
Yeah,
right?
especially
I mean,
if you're
it's
planning to keep adding like chunks of content over a long period of time.
It's weird because Breakpoint's doing the opposite thing, but they go back. Now they're going to gear level where you can't. I had this early mission where my gear level is like 6, and I wandered up to a ridge, and as part of a cutscene, you see all your friends getting shot. And then it says, my level is 150. You can't be here now because there's a bunch of the wolves down there, and they shot me dead in like 5 seconds. But it's an open world, but apparently there are places that you are going to be just
GTA
die.
style.
Yeah.
Like you cross this bridge, 6 fucking stars. Yeah.
Which is a weird way of doing it, but hey, I like collecting loot.
We're fully in the future now where every game is a live game, right?
Division 2 had a different way of doing it. Like you couldn't get into missions without a certain eye level. I don't know if Breakpoint will do that later on, but it's all the way people. I kind of like the Destiny 2 thing where you just don't have to worry too much about eye level unless you want to go to the top end shit. Just kind of go out there and find some stuff to drop, and it'll to keep on incrementally getting you up there. So.
Right.
Always numbers to increase.
Yeah.
Every game.
The way I do it.
Yep.
More numbers.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Apparently. All right. Why don't we step back and take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about some more something.
Sure.
Hey man, you like that internet?
It's okay.
All right.
I guess it could be better.
It could be better.
We could stand to spruce it up a little bit.
Exactly. It's time to take matters into our own hands.
Do a little redecorating.
Yes, it's time to turn our dreams into realities with Squarespace.
Make a new website and put it up on the shelf.
Exactly.
Over the fireplace.
The internet shelf, the hearth.
On the mantle.
Yes. Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Yeah.
I'm passionate about home decorations.
Great.
Refurnishing.
Yeah.
Interior design.
All of that stuff could be on a website.
Oh.
And regardless of what you're doing, if you're looking to start a new business, showcase your work, publish some content, sell some stuff, even more, whatever you want to do, Squarespace is the tool for you. Squarespace has beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything with just a few clicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make it mine.
Exactly. Make it your own and make it beautiful. All by your lonesome.
What if I wanted it to be ugly?
If you want it to be ugly, that's on you. You can definitely grime these up. Just, insert the grimiest graphics you can find, the worst animated GIFs, a lot of pictures of Tim Allen, whatever you've got. You could just throw it in there. And you'd also sell stuff. Squarespace has powerful e-commerce functionality.
E-commerce?
E-commerce.
Not the regular kind of commerce.
No.
It's the
21st
century kind.
21st century. E-commerce is the regular kind of commerce as far as I'm concerned.
Man, I guess you're right.
You can sell anything online using that functionality, and they've got analytics help to let you grow in real time.
Numbers.
That's right. Look at these numbers,
Data.
and hopefully they're going up.
Big data.
The data just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's all optimized for mobile right out of the box.
Big data for little screens.
That's right. The littlest screens.
Kind that fit in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. You want to buy a domain? Yes, you do.
Yeah, sure.
Squarespace makes it simple.
Oh, good.
And
it can be, it can be surprisingly hard to find a domain sometimes.
They've got that under control, and you'll get the help you need. They've got 24/7 award-winning customer support. So they're ready to support you if you need it. You probably won't even need it. I mean, all this stuff is like pretty much you can configure it all yourself. But if you run into some issues,
I could call them up. I could be like, "What top-level domains do you have?"
Yeah, you open a chat window. You'd be like, "What is the deal?"
Y'all sell .bike over there?
Y'all got that .bike? I own a .bike domain.
I should get a .bike.
Why not? Squarespace empowers millions of people, not just .bikers, but designers and lawyers and artists.
You think is there a .city?
There probably is. Okay. That seems like something that would exist by now.
Yeah.
But they'll turn your great ideas into something real. Head over to squarespace.com/bombcast and you'll get a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, you can use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast. And the offer code, it's BOMBCAST.
All right, Jason, it's time.
It's time
For the triumphant return
of
everybody's favorite minute.
Monster Hunter Minute.
That's right. Or maybe, I think you take more than 8 minutes.
Thank you very much.
This
I
week.
appreciate that, Brad.
Iceborne finally came out.
Yeah, that's the latest expansion to the Monster Hunter world.
It's the only paid one, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
far?
the only paid one that they've done so far. So previously, I know I've said this a million times. They've released like a separate game, and they've called that end game content like G rank stuff. That's exactly what this is, but it's actually built into the game as an expansion this time, as opposed to something separate.
And like an actual new landmass and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got a brand new landmass. They've got a bunch of quality of life enhancements. I think anybody that has been playing this game and is into Iceborne, if they're looking for, like a go-ahead, this is my go-ahead. Do it. Go for it. But I think I want to talk to the people that maybe fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this ice porn.
Yes, ice porn. It's nipples are yes on point all the time. Iceborne, yeah, this is a brand new expansion. I already went through that. What am I saying here? You've got to actually beat the Bane game.
Okay, then I am not eligible to play Iceborne.
You might not be eligible,
no,
but
I'm not.
What they do give some of the there's some ramps. There's some ramps that they give you. They give you some really nice armor.
Make the numbers go faster.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So they give you this set of Guardian armor that just by comparison, like the leather armor that you get, the starting equipment, base value of like 10 or something like that. This is like 200 something.
Okay. It's like right out of the gate?
Yeah, right out of the gate. I believe that you have access to that. So that'll help you get through some of the early game humps as well. And hopefully that'll get you to a point where you get bit by the bug and you want to, actually complete it. But once you get there, it's pretty, it's cool. I like it a lot.
What have they added?
They've added a shit ton of, snow and new monsters
and
as well. So they've also brought back some fan favorites like, Bariath, Nargacuga. Those are, some of my, standout monsters.
The Clutch Claw.
The Clutch Claw is, definitely new. That's kind of like a grappling hook, essentially. So one of the most, arguably fun parts of Monster Hunter World is, launching yourself onto monsters, which
climbing
is
up there.
Which
I always found to be like a little bit of an obscure process.
It's a little obtuse.
I never quite tell if I was going to get on there or not.
Yeah, sometimes it's like time based, and sometimes it's like area based. You never really
that's
know.
Just Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah, this is something that that makes it so much easier to get on top of a monster, do the mount, as it were. So you can fire the Clutch Claw at any time, but you'll be able to mount, once the monster's stable, they're not really moving, they're not enraged. You should be able to clutch onto like any part of that monster.
You can use that on any of the content, like even the old stuff.
Yeah,
but you don't get the Clutch Claw unless you buy Iceborne. Is that right?
No,
they didn't patch it in for people who don't buy the expansion.
It's hard to tell actually. They they made it easier to climb onto monsters, which is super fun.
Yeah.
Lots of good content, huge roster of monsters. I dig it an awful lot.
Cool.
So
Is the PC version still delayed?
Yeah.
I
That's
saw
That
people
is the
complaining
biggest
about that.
tragedy of this whole situation.
Yeah, it's still
is
a
that
bummer.
I thought
Well-
this would be the point where they brought the PC version up to parity.
That's
with
so
the,
weird. Like
consoles.
Destiny 2
this was their
learned-
opportunity to do so, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to wait until January to get
That's
that
a long time to wait.
That
Holy
is,
shit.
yeah.
It sounds like that is like by far the best version of the game.
Yeah, definitely, especially with like load times and that.
They just wanted me a more
If it's-
appropriate weather for
If
that
it's any
game to come out.
indication, like I've been playing through this, and it's not my main console anymore. Like it's not my main platform. I've been, enjoying the roster that much that I'm still waiting through those load times, which are pretty significant. Even if you've got like an SSD.
Yeah.
I actually went out and bought like an external SSD to try and mitigate some of that, but it just didn't.
Only so much you can do.
Yeah, it's only so much.
I think it's $40. Is that right?
Yeah, it's $40 for the base. You can get the full Monster Hunter World plus the expansion, I think, for like $60.
Okay.
So like a normal price game.
Game of the Year edition.
Yep, something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kill some monsters.
That's
Let's do
crazy.
it.
5-month delay for the PC?
Yeah.
Months?
That is
Holy
really unfortunate.
It's not too far off from when it initially launched.
Yeah,
But
it's the
they
same way.
just didn't correct it.
Other
Yeah, it's
games
just
have
weird.
done, like Destiny 2 took 8 weeks to
Yeah.
come out on PC, but that was obviously the superior version then, and since then they've had parity. It's just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It's been so frustrating with their messaging as well, because when they have events come up, they'll say, "Hey, this is live now," and you're like, "Oh wait, no, it's not, because it's not on PC yet."
I wonder if this is still the messy territory where everybody realized that cross-platform is the way of the future, and now next gen, like, it will just be there from day one on everything.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I don't know. I feel like the expectation for like day and date launches had already kind of happened in a lot of cases, and so this still feels like a weird anomaly to me.
Sure.
You think there's any chance of Sony going PC versions of their games the next gen?
Sony themselves,
They there was that weird quote from Sean Layden 2-3 weeks ago about like some of our games may end up on other platforms
I'd love to see it.
with bigger install bases.
like
Or
games
something
published by Sony have
Yeah.
shown up. Like those David Cage games are on the Epic Store now.
Okay.
Helldivers showed up on Steam
It's
ages
just
ago.
Yeah.
The big first party ones are the ones I always miss, like Horizon. I'd love to play Horizon on PC.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
kind of
I've
stuff.
like the big sort of what is it called, Worldwide Studios games.
Yeah.
So like the kind of marquee
Yeah.
first party games.
don't
I would
see
doubt.
them.
Yeah,
I don't see them
think so.
doing that.
I don't think you're going to get a Horizon or Last of Us on PC.
Yeah.
Join my GoFundMe. to
Death
fund
Stranding, on the other hand,
a
we'll
letter
see.
writing campaign.
Gonna get this PlayStation 4 emulator off the ground.
Yeah. Death Stranding today. Hideo Kojima
Yeah.
announced 49-minute trailer for TGS.
I mean, I think that's an actual gameplay demonstration.
I would hope it'd be something.
was my understanding.
At some point,
Not
all, I,
just cinematics.
all I could think of today was that they should have hired Hideo Kojima to work on Star Citizen and just like, make that movie, make it a movie, just make it a movie, and have something ship out the door for like 2 hours, 3, make it 8 hours. You know he'd do it.
It's just 45 minutes of hot piss.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. The steamiest steamy piss.
Until the bladder meter is empty.
That's
When's
right.
TGS?
Later this week. I
Okay.
think it starts on Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
Expect anything big announcements?
Yeah.
It's mostly.
Well, we'll
I
get
was,
to that.
I was
Get to
hoping,
that.
Sorry.
that maybe if Death Stranding comes to PC, you could use Cheat Engine and then have infinite bladder.
Infinite bladder, yeah.
And then just piss forever.
You keep peeing, but the
My
meter
dream.
the bladder meter just keeps
That's
going
right.
up. Makes no sense,
Yeah.
but it's so much fun.
Finally write my last name in the snow.
Yeah.
Without using your hands.
God, yeah, that is a lot of letters, huh? Last thing, real quick, I got into I guess what they're calling the Founders Edition of this new Plants vs. Zombies game,
Right.
which is the third. It's basically another Garden Warfare.
Yeah.
That thing just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They ran like a closed, like an
Yeah,
NDA beta
there was
for it a
like
little
an
while
alpha or
ago.
something a little while back. I guess they showed it at Gamescom, which I totally missed because
Okay.
it came out randomly last Wednesday, and I thought that was the announcement and release at the same time. And I guess they had been showing it at Gamescom a little bit. I mean, it's another one of those.
Yeah.
Is it a free to start, or is it pay to?
Right now, you can only get in. They're calling it early access or whatever. If you buy the $30 Founders Edition, you
Is
can
the
get in now.
Store open to buy stuff? Like it
Don't
might.
believe so. Not that I saw.
But it will be
There
an
will be-
FTP PVZ at some point.
Yeah.
No, it is
No.
not. My understanding is it's going to be $40 when it comes out.
Okay.
So you're actually getting in cheaper if you buy it now.
It's like a lot of the old early access games where they'll reverse like more to get in early, but
Yeah.
hey.
Comes out, I think, mid-October. They're basically, it's kind of a shell right now. Like, there's only one multiplayer mode in, and most of the maps aren't in yet. They're basically saying, like, hey, every week until launch, we're going to add more stuff. So
basically a beta.
and exclusive items that you supposedly can't get any other way if you buy it now. But probably the coolest thing about it is, like, those games had a hub before, but it was kind of a single-player situation with just a bunch of AI running around. When you spawn in now, it's like MMO type,
Real people.
very well populated. Like there were tons of people running around shooting each other, like right in front of me when I popped in. And there's kind of like a PvP like scrimmage area right off that hub.
Yeah.
Like it's basically like
Call of Duty World War II.
Oh, did they have that?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, never mind. It's not that big a deal. I was gonna say it's like if you spawned into the tower in Destiny and you could just hop over the side and immediately be fighting people. It's kind of like that.
World War II was more like you walked up to a kiosk and said, "I want to be in the 1v1 queue."
So
and then it would drop you in, but
load
it was
into
all
it?
right there. You didn't load.
Okay. So this is like
so
that.
you could run over and watch people in the 1v1 arena and watch them play from just standing there.
This is basically that.
Yeah.
And there's little quests you can pick up in the hub to go out and do little challenges out there, and if you just want to fight people randomly. And they're adding like some single player stuff. There's a couple maps with quests on them that are all sort of story based. Like it's pretty light, straightforward stuff, but like that's more than those games had.
What is this game called? It's called
the Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville.
Okay,
is the name.
So it's not,
but it's
okay,
basically Garden Warfare 3. I mean, it's the
Have you noticed microtransactions?
same characters, same mechanics. It's that type of shooter again.
Yeah. I forget if there were many in Garden Warfare.
It's all cosmetic based as far as I can tell. That's stuff you can buy, and you basically there are no like paid blind box. Actually, that's probably as an EA game. That's the story here is that they flat out say when you boot the game, like, hey, there are no paid blind boxes in this game.
That's a weird thing for them to have to like come right out and say.
Kind of.
The sports games still have all that shit, don't they?
Yeah, the FIFA stuff is totally still
Madden
there.
is out now.
The NBA 2K one was one that
because
that's not them. That's 2K.
Okay.
We got that email a while back saying like, hey, why is everybody mad about Battlefront? Like FIFA's been doing this and is still doing this
because
for
people
years.
have collected sports cards for a century or more, and they can kind of skirt and like people are a little bit more blind to it because it like has this real world equivalent somehow.
Yep.
And
it seems to be the case. So there are blind boxes in this, but you can only buy them with the in-game currency as far as I can tell. They said if you pay real money, you just get the item that you want. So they have made that change.
I have such a complicated history with PvZ because I really loved PvZ 1 as just a game you bought and you played, and then PvZ 2 was mobile only, and it really went quick into you better buy some shit with real money to make this game.
They had to like fully overhaul that game from what I remember because people were not happy with.
I tried it like maybe 6 months or a year ago, and it was still just
also kind of crazy that a PopCap game is coming out. I guess
there's still a PopCap.
I guess so,
sort of.
Although this is a Vancouver team, which I don't think is actual PopCap because PopCap was in Seattle, right?
That's
I'm not actually sure if that studio still exists or not.
I don't know, but the Garden Warfare stuff was always ex Black Box,
and that was Vancouver
skate people. Yeah.
Okay, so this must be the same studio. It seems cool.
Is it fun?
I actually haven't gotten into the multiplayer yet. I screwed around in that hub because there were a bunch of quests to do there and messed around in the scrimmage area.
What quests? You getting XP? And
well, these are like tutorial quests. Showing you like here's all the new cosmetic stuff. Here's this and that. Cool. And then I spent a bunch of time on the single player map doing quests. So I haven't actually played the real multiplayer yet, but we'll check that out when there's more content crammed in there.
Cool.
But it looks really good. Like it's kind of cool to see a cartoonish game in a Frostbite setting. Because so many Frostbite games are just kind of realistic military. Like that is a damn good looking engine. There's some really good art in that thing.
Do you know if it has RTX support? I mean, Battlefield 5 did. So
I don't know.
Actually,
that would be interesting. I got the PS4 version, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I didn't realize it was on consoles too.
Yeah, it's Origin PS4.
I thought I assumed while it was in some kind of early access, it wouldn't just be.
Yeah, it's on everything. But I mean, it has trophies already. Like it's basically.
This seems so under the radar.
Yeah, totally. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
That's weird.
And it's it's budget priced, but it seems like a fully fledged thing.
Meanwhile, they're doing a retail edition of Apex Legends. They announced that today.
No shit.
They're going to do it's like a $20 disc, that's going to come with a skin that you can't get any other way or something like that.
Did they have a bundle that you could buy for $20 kind of out of the gate?
They had a founders bundle or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they're just doing some because like there was that. I think they did physical versions of Fortnite for a little while, but I think that was when it was a different game.
I'm not sure I get the.
It gets it exposure on store shelves next to the big names, and is a way for people that like maybe don't download games to see the name Apex Legends, which they wouldn't see.
Does Fortnite still do like game cards you can buy in stores?
Assume so.
Yeah,
I assume so.
I mean,
Fortnite there's a ton of currency you can buy. So
Fortnite is just like kind of. But every time I upload a video to Facebook, like they have the little tag a game, and the default one is Fortnite. Great.
Just say, yep, that's Fortnite.
There it is. To try to get views up.
There it is. It's Fortnite all over. This is what they patched in this week. Season 7.
Man,
it's a driving game now.
Exciting. All right, let's get into the news for the week. Let's just follow up on the rest of this Apple stuff since we already started talking about it.
Yeah, so they put out a press release. They had a few games on stage.
You've got a list of games in front of you with one name that I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah.
Although I've been hurt before, so...
Well, yeah, of course. So they have breaking news at this hour.
San Francisco.
They have put out a press release about Apple Arcade, which is their thing launching later this month, September 19th.
Yep.
$5 a month. There'll be a 1-month trial. So yeah, this will launch. Okay, let's see here. September 30th, it will come to iPads and Apple TVs.
Oh,
and in October, it will be on Mac.
So it's only on phone for the first couple weeks?
That's what it seems
Really
to
weird.
be saying
That's
here.
interesting.
I have a friend who works in the support field at Apple,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sure part of this is just like we should get this working on each platform as it goes and not have to deal with doing support for 4 different things at
Maybe.
one time.
So is it? Do you know if it's guaranteed that every game on the service will work on every one of those
So
devices?
that is kind of the other thing.
Because that precludes the existence of like touch-only games. Then
$5 a month, users get unlimited access to the entire catalog of over 100 new exclusive games, all playable across iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Mac, and Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
So they are saying that they will be across the board playable.
Okay.
And I know they were doing. You'll need to have Catalina installed to do that on a Mac, which is it's the upcoming version of the Mac.
the new, okay. Oh, wow. Huh.
Fucking Catalina.
And I wonder if that, because I think Catalina was supposed to be the first one where they were talking about like, oh, we're going to put some iOS code in here. So I wonder if they're leveraging that at all to make that work or what the deal is. I don't know what's under the hood. So they've got a list of games, and these are games listed as new and exclusive, and as such, Frogger is not on this list.
Oh, wait, is that announced for anything else?
No, they said it was exclusive. Neither's the Capcom game, now that I think about it, but they did say that those were exclusive, and then they did show Sayonara Wild Hearts, which, as I said, is not exclusive to Apple, unless something changed, but I played it on a Switch. New and exclusive games: Ballistic Baseball from Gameloft, which they're describing as an action-packed arcade baseball game. Here's the one. Here's the one.
Yep.
Choo Choo Rocket Universe.
What? Fucking what? We were just days ago lamenting the lack of Choo Choo Rocket games.
Launches into. Sega launches the beloved Choo Choos into a universe of strange and wonderful planets with over 100 mind-bending puzzles, which makes that sound like a more of a single-player focused thing.
That could be cool. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like it could be a different thing.
Have there not been any games in the Choo Choo Rocket franchise since Choo Choo Rocket?
They did. There was Choo Choo Rocket, and then I want to say that Choo Choo Rocket came to iOS years ago in some kind of like not great form.
Let's just consult
giantbomb.com.
the leading database. Yeah.
Exit the Gungeon.
That's good. That's a good name.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Players must escape a collapsing hell dungeon as increasingly perilous obstacles and opponents stand in their way. That's funny.
Yeah.
Overland, which Overland is on Steam. That's not not exclusive. Apple is already, as Apple gets into gaming, they're already playing fast and loose with the word exclusive.
I have a feeling,
which I appreciate because they're just like everyone else now.
Exit the Gungeon must be coming to other platforms.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a time thing, or maybe it's I don't know.
They learn from the
Okay, you know what?
masters.
Like the verbiage here, there's a header that says new and exclusive, but then it says some of the titles debuting on Apple Arcade include.
Here we go.
So
Everybody does it.
yeah, who
Can't
knows?
be mad.
Pac-Man Party Royale.
Yeah.
It's a brand new arcade experience featuring a 4-player battle mode where the last Pac-Man standing wins. That might just be an update of that arcade game, Pac-Man Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Pac-Man Battle Royale.
Pretty good.
Now you're talking. Projection First Light from Blowfish. Girl living in a mythological shadow puppet world. Rayman Mini.
Hey.
Rayman has been reduced to the size of an ant. Players use insects, mushrooms, and plants to run through the world as quickly as possible.
Is that a runner?
Or try over and over again to achieve the perfect score.
Yeah, it's a runner.
That sounds like a runner. Shantae and the Seven Sirens. Players explore a vast sunken city and battle the Seven Sirens in the half-genie's most thrilling adventure yet.
Well, I mean, I keep forgetting they have controller support, so these,
They do.
These could
Yeah.
be proper video games.
You know, like playing this on, an Apple TV or a Mac or something. It's,
Well, you said they're both. It's gonna support the new iOS is gonna support Xbox and
yes,
PS4 controllers.
that's my understanding is
Okay.
that they are just saying fuck it and saying use good controls.
Do they even make a controller for like a first-party controller?
Apple
they've
doesn't,
never
but
made one.
there's been a lot of like Apple certified
Sure.
stuff. There's been talk for years that Apple had a controller in the works that they were taking around to developers. And
If they're doing this
all
now,
this
like
stuff,
why not?
But they it seems like they've walked away from making
yeah,
their own
thank,
controller.
thank God they just decided to piggyback on the good controllers
Yeah.
that already exist.
Skate City from Snowman. The heart and soul of street skating comes to life with multi-touch controls, and city streets become the ultimate skater playground. Sneaky Sasquatch from Rack 7. Players live the life of a Sasquatch and do regular, everyday Sasquatch stuff.
Sure.
Steven
It's-
Universe Unleash the Light. Pick your favorite characters, choose which gems are in your party, unlock new abilities. And then in parentheses at the end, this is good. Unlock awesome new abilities and equip alternate costumes in the ultimate mobile role-playing game. And then in parentheses, RPG. That's what that is. Okay, I've heard.
Oh,
Super Impossible Road, which is a follow-up to Impossible Road. The Bradwell Conspiracy from Bossa is a beautifully stylized conspiracy adventure thriller with a humorous twist.
Wait, isn't
Bossa is the
studio that Chet went
yeah,
to?
and has since left.
Oh, that's the one he
Yeah.
left, not
Yeah.
the one he founded.
Yeah.
Right.
Bossa is the I Am Bread
Yeah.
studio.
Chet from Valve.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize he left.
Oh,
Oh, he
yeah.
did. And came back though, right?
No, he left and
Okay, never mind.
stays somewhere else now.
Sorry.
He's like a
I get him and Eric Walpole's careers like
yeah,
conflated.
understandably so. The Enchanted World from Noodle Cake. Players help a young fairy piece together a magical world torn apart by dark forces.
I could really go for a noodle cake right now.
Yeah. Various Day Life from Square Enix is the brand new RPG from the creators of Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler.
Oh, huh.
Various. What is it?
Various Day Life. Day Life is one word.
Damn it.
That's a better name than Bravely Default.
Yeah. Players explore a newly discovered continent while living life to the fullest in the city of Arabia.
Oh, that's really good.
I'm living life to the fullest out here.
Got a screenshot of that. Oh, just found a Twitter thread with screens of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've got some screenshots in the press release as
Choo
well.
Choo
Yeah.
Choo Choo Rocket has got kind of a tilted.
Oh, weird.
Isometric
Okay.
sort of
Yeah,
look to
that's a different look. For
Well,
sure.
it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like nobody there has made was
yeah,
on the
yeah.
first.
Yeah, it's
Choo-Choo
more
Rocket
just that like you couldn't really. It would be a lot harder to do that multiplayer with
Yeah,
this perspective.
sure.
But if as a puzzle game, this would work fine.
Right. X the Gungeon looks like a side scroller.
team. What?
Huh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rayman just looks like a Rayman game.
I wish I would like to enter the Gungeon more. I know a lot of people found it very beloved. I just found it so difficult that I couldn't get very far.
I did not. I did not click with that game one bit. But I appreciate it just the same. Pac-Man looks kind of. What else? Yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay.
They got $1 billion to spend on this stuff. They're gonna be more. I'm surprised they're not like going for a bigger.
I mean,
those games are
I'll,
They
big.
say
I'll
that
pop
they're-
a free trial to play a few of those.
And like there's a Capcom game that like a new IP Capcom game that's not on that list. There's the Frogger game that's not on that list. Sayonara Wild Hearts. They say they're gonna have 100 games
At launch, those are all.
they're gonna
19th?
add more every week. I think is what they're saying. So
Okay. Did they say that list is at launch?
I think that list
'Cause
is the launch list.
Get on there to play Choo Choo Rocket.
It's like a free month trial.
Yeah.
Like $5 a month. Like, sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing how that stuff works on like an Apple TV, weirdly enough. Like how do these translate when you take them and put them on the same screen that you're playing console games on? Like how's that stuff work out?
I think Magic Arena is also coming to Apple this month as well. Finally out of beta.
Oh, do you know if can you buy those games piecemeal without being on the service, or those?
You
are
know, I would
exclusive
assume
to the
so, but they
service?
talk about them in as exclusives in a
Yeah.
way that makes me wonder.
Maybe it's a timed thing. Or
Yeah,
something.
but I don't know.
How these are games you download to your device.
Yeah,
correct?
it's not a
Okay,
streaming
okay.
service. It's yeah.
Yes, thankfully. I'm just going to point out that we do not, as far as I can tell, have a Choo Choo Rocket franchise page,
Right.
which
It's
essentially
20-year-old
means,
game.
essentially means that I'm saying that
There's
means
no follow up.
no other Choo Choo Rocket games.
But that's what I'm saying. I want to say that if it did come to iOS, I want to say it was just that game, but
Yeah.
maybe a bad port of it.
We've
Yeah,
got,
it might not have been a separate page for
we have
Yeah, which we
plat-
wouldn't have.
platforms. We have Dreamcast, Game Boy Advance,
Oh,
Was
right.
that the same game? That was the
GBA,
same
yeah.
game? iPhone, Android, Wii
Okay.
U.
That was probably
Was
the
that a
GBA game as a
virtual console?
download.
And somebody put Atari ST on here.
That's just wrong.
That's Insanity.
Find that person and ban them.
That's right.
That's an interesting lineup, at least.
It doesn't seem like it has
Nothing
the
mind blowing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it has like the AAA, not AAA, but like the mind blowing thing that I would expect.
Like there's no like one game that you look at and go, holy shit, you know, there's
Bar-
stuff on there.
here's
like
our Halo or
Choo Choo
whatever.
Rocket, you know, like sure.
It's neat.
It's
But,
just $5 is not that much.
Sure.
Like, there's,
but with the amount of money they've been spending on this, I'm surprised they haven't like bought a studio and had them cranking out. I mean, they got
Apple's always been weird about games.
Yeah.
They've always kind of seemed to approach it with like a half-hearted kind of motivation.
It's weird.
Yeah. I have this Nintendo Direct at the top of the headlines, even though we did that stream with live reactions.
That's right.
Live reacts.
That's right. The hottest reacts in
To
the
Deadly
business.
Premonition 2.
They're making a sequel to Deadly Premonition.
So I hear.
You guys were very surprised by that. I saw the gifts.
When you think about Swery's career and where
Yeah,
it's taken him and where he left and where he is now, and
That dude travels a lot.
yeah,
Like, you
and-
follow his Instagram, right?
Oh yeah,
He's
no,
just
he is
constantly
out
on the
there.
move. Yeah.
He's making it happen one beer at a time.
Yes, he is out there drinking.
Yeah, he is the
Frequently.
Drink King.
Yeah.
And the Ring King. Yeah. So he is writer director on that.
Mhm.
I don't know how he's finding the time. Like, is he telecommuting all the time? Like,
Well, there's another studio that's working
Oh,
on it. I don't
okay.
think White Owls is like developing the game itself, but he is on it.
writing it 12 hours on an airplane.
Wait,
Yes.
did he say he's doing something else at the same time? or
I
what?
know.
Well,
I just
he's got.
I just see his Instagram. He is constantly traveling.
The Good Life is still is not out yet, right? Like
Did that happen?
it didn't.
I thought they
pass,
tried to
but it's still
kickstart it and it didn't go.
But he's still making it. I think is what the.
Oh,
My understanding is that was still going to go.
let me see if I can confirm.
Speaking of Instagram, Giant Bomb Instagram.
Uh,
account, very
yeah.
active.
Where can where on Instagram can I
I
find?
believe it's the real Giant Bomb.
Oh yeah,
I think
you're,
it's giantbomb.com.
Oh, there we go.
spelled out.
So all these things are mixed up
Yeah.
because we
Yeah,
didn't
you're
quite
right.
get the.
you're right. The Good Life just got delayed until first half of next year, but
Yeah.
it is coming out.
Right.
That's the cat game.
I think that's the cat game.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the cat like mystery game?
Cat mystery.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah,
There's a lady in the woods and cats.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, Lady in the Woods.
Huh?
Blair
Another
Witch 2.
I mean, man, if Swery's capable of making multiple games at once, then more power to him. I'll take it.
And then Deadly Premonition Origins came out on
Port,
Switch, kind of
yeah.
day and date as a port of the
Apparently
first
was
game,
a
which apparently
bad-
doesn't run well.
Like he was out there on Twitter apologizing
Yeah.
immediately. Hopefully they'll fix that. Yeah,
It wouldn't be a Deadly Premonition game if it didn't like somehow be as janked up as it could possibly be.
very true. That video's on the site if you just want to watch us watch that thing. In real time. That was a
whole
good direct.
thing was like the announcements and the stuff that they had there was like on par with, if not better than E3
Yeah.
in some cases.
Yes, that was definitely
They-
like a trade show caliber
Yeah,
presentation.
they had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's also quick looks of the Kirby Clash game.
Yeah,
and
they announced
Tetris
it
99.
free to play. Excuse me, free to start.
Yeah.
Kirby game that doesn't
Game
seem
does
great.
not look good.
Yeah.
A bunch of the Tetris 99 got a huge update, which is pretty cool.
The SNES stuff came out.
Yeah, they released it's a separate
It's a
Super
separate
Nintendo?
download.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System Nintendo Switch Online
Separate download.
is the name.
I'm
You get all
surprised.
those games at once
Yeah,
with the download?
Yeah, it's like 20 games.
Also, in conjunction with this, they announced that they are going to stop updating that stuff as frequently as they used to.
Yeah.
There used to be monthly NES games,
Yeah.
and they're like, we're stretching it out.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
I think that would.
The
Should
business
be,
would be the
yeah,
work,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I would think,
Yeah.
but that
I mean,
shouldn't.
How does that work on a Switch UI? Like, do you get 20 games all in little squares?
No,
or is it like
you
a
get one
separate-
square that
okay.
is the NES.
It's a
and
front
then-
end
but the
for-
thing is that square didn't change into an NES/SNES.
SNES, yeah.
Now there's two squares.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
One per platform, and that's strange.
some people want it that way.
They're wrong.
Okay. All right.
I think pulling back on the release schedule would hurt more if they hadn't put basically every big first party game in this initial release already.
Yeah, the SNES one, that feels like
like
they kind of shot their
everything.
shot, right? They're just
Star
like,
Fox, Mario Kart, Mario World, Yoshi's Island, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Super Metroid, Link to the Past. Like,
Is it basically the?
I can't name
SNES
another Nintendo
classic
made
lineup?
game on the SNES that I would really want.
This is a better lineup than the SNES Classic, I think. Brawl Brothers.
Brothers, yeah. Yeah, there's some third party stuff in there too, but I mean, as far as the Nintendo like heavy hitters, like that's kind of everything.
No, Mario Paint with touchscreen. What do we?
Oh,
Let's do it.
Shit, man, that music tracking thing with the touch screen. Oh yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, there's still work to do then.
Yeah. Super Smash TV isn't there?
Yeah. Stunt Race FX.
Ugh.
Apparently the first time this has been out.
Yeah, we could do without Snow Racerback.
Outside of the SNES.
Where's the SNES version of Balls?
Yeah. Oh, man. Why don't we get Faceball on there?
Yeah.
Let's do some multiplayer.
Get Wordtris on there.
Yeah.
Get that Star Trek: The Next Generation adventure game on there.
Okay. Terry Bogard coming to Smash.
It has been just a real blessing. It has been a true gift to me to see people angry about Terry Bogard being in that game.
Huh.
Are they angry because they don't know him, or
on
they're-
what
They're angry
grounds?
just like, no one wanted him. He's from some boomer ass fighting game. Just like the fucking
What?
like Smash players that just like have no
Smash-
affinity
well,
for
no,
I
Terry
really
Bogard.
love that generational labels have just been flattened
Yeah.
to mean like millennial just means young and boomer just means old now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Yeah, it
when
doesn't
you were
matter.
actually born.
There's no other difference.
Smash community well known for being measured and leveled, and it's all its feedback to.
and-
Yeah,
and
and
hygienic.
appreciative of the actual history of video games and not just their narrow view of it.
Yeah.
Now that has been borne out, I guess.
Yeah. Tokyo Mirage Sessions coming to the Switch.
Sure.
What is that?
It was
Tokyo
a Wii.
Mirage
It was
Sessions.
a
It was
Wii
a Wii
U
U.
RPG.
Yeah, I've never been super clear. Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is there like a rhythm element to it?
I think so. I don't know. Alex played it and,
Yeah.
and seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, people
That's-
like.
that-
I've
that-
never.
My one sentence on Tokyo Mirage Session is, I think Alex likes it.
Yep. Overwatch for Switch got confirmed. Apparently, an Iron Galaxy joint.
Mm-hmm. They
Looks-
did good work on that Diablo port.
It
so
looks that if the trailer holds up with the FPS and the frame rates, it should be pretty solid.
Iron Galaxy. I didn't know they were involved with Diablo.
yeah, they did.
Wow.
They did that one.
Huh.
So yeah, I think Overwatch on the Switch like makes sense in terms of that's a big game and why not. But I still think of the Switch as like a thing where you can't guarantee Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so Overwatch is a strange game in that particular context.
Even if you have Wi-Fi, those analog sticks are not amazing.
no,
in
I
handheld
wouldn't
mode.
want to.
And it runs at 30 FPS for
Is
what
it?
that's worth.
The trailer looked like it was a higher.
I'm
I could be wrong.
pretty sure that's what they said.
I mean, the trailer looked like it was higher, but I could just been miswatching. Watching it wrong
Miswatching,
somehow.
Yeah, you use
2019. I can
use
do
the
a lot of
other
things wrong.
eyes.
They showed Animal Crossing. I thought that looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice visual update.
there's
on that.
something like Animal Crossing at its core, though, is about not quite getting everything you want because the island and its inhabitants are doing their own thing.
Sure.
So something about drawing your own paths and having that level of control over the island seems like a different kind of game. And crafting tools makes
Yeah.
it seem like a different kind of thing.
That was definitely a little bit of a record scratch moment when they went out and had to chop down
Yeah.
a tree and collect 5 wood and some stone or whatever
Yeah.
to craft a workbench.
I think I've
It's like, oh, you got some of that in there, huh?
And maybe that'll be great. Like
Yeah.
I'm still like whatever. I'm down for Animal Crossing, no fucking problem. But it like you look at those elements and you're like, this is different now.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that'll be good different or not, but we'll find out.
Has that game been delayed a bunch? Is that
Yeah, they pushed
not
it.
a bunch per se,
Pushed
but
it
it's
to March, I think.
is that Shadow of the Obra Dinn?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Return to the
Return to-
Oberdin coming to Switch, which is seems cool.
I've heard many good things about that game.
it's
last
good.
two-
That's coming to other consoles as well.
Okay.
Last stuff, as far as I'm concerned, Doom 64 is coming to Switch, and Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast.
What a weird game to pick
From Aspyr.
now. I like that game a bunch. It's a great game, but
It's good. It's a good game. It's not even like the most popular Jedi Knight game, though.
as long as you can patch in dismemberments and
I just-
beheadings and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, I'm sure
I think you had
that'll
to.
be
use the console to toggle that stuff.
Yeah.
Aspyr is the company that did all those Mac ports of
Yeah.
those games back in the day. Like I wonder if there's just some
Man.
weird licensing thing,
that's
weird
the
loophole.
Yeah, that's the third Dark Forces game.
yeah. When they changed it, yeah. Dark Forces
1 and 2 not
Jedi
on
Knight.
Switch.
Yeah. It's that was the
I would play Dark Forces 1 on the Switch.
Yeah, totally. That game's cool.
best game in that series. I mean, Academy was
what's
a little more polished.
which one?
but, Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, in
What's
my opinion.
yeah.
I think I wrote a game guide for that. Jesus.
That
Fuck,
one
Game
didn't-
Facts game
That one
guide.
didn't have any FMV in it, did it?
I
don't
don't
think
think. I think it was all in engine cutscenes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time since I played it.
Doom 64 just seems like a really bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it's just that.
Did anybody play the new Doom on Switch? I remember that game had really
yeah,
bad
I did
performance.
it quickly. I mean, it wasn't terrible,
Yeah.
but it's not how you want to play Doom.
Yeah.
It's like amazing that they got it working at
Yeah.
all, but not ideal. I might be more excited about the Doom 64 announcement if people hadn't gotten that game up and running on PC
Oh,
in
right.
modern source ports, so you can kind of.
I did not think highly of Doom 64 when it was first released, and my view has not necessarily changed. Yeah. So that's just a thing of just like, oh, it's a weird, like, it just felt like a fucking hacked together strange. It didn't feel like a good N64 first person shooter in its day. It didn't feel like a good Doom game back in the day. So it just
was that an in-house id thing?
Midway published that game.
Yeah, I don't believe it had much to do with that. And then because Nintendo is arguably the strangest company in the games industry, something like 24 hours after this Nintendo Direct, they also announced some kind of insane-looking fitness resistance band thing for the Switch, which doesn't have a name yet.
Yep.
September 12th?
Feels like a black plastic loop. Yeah, they're going to say more about it on the 12th.
Yeah, which is 2 days from now.
Black plastic loop that you put the Wii,
with the
Wiimotes, the Joy-Cons into.
Yep.
And then you can do bow and arrow shit.
Yes.
Or
there's bow and arrow stuff. There's looks like there's a leg band.
Yeah.
Which probably could also be an armband.
How does a Joy-Con how does a Switch track Joy-Con positions in the world?
Standard motion stuff.
Standard motion
accelerometer, gyroscope stuff. I
so
assume.
not like Wii U tracking or anything like that, or Wii tracking.
No, the right
IR
Joy-Con has an IR on it.
Yeah.
So you could do loose track, like pointers type stuff with that.
This looks interesting.
They describe it as a new experience for Nintendo Switch. I mean,
I wonder if they tie it to like a Wii Fit type of game.
Most people seem to think it's kind of a successor to Wii Fit.
Well, there was EA made a fitness game for the PlayStation 3 that you had like something you tied around your leg, and it looks pretty similar. I did that for a bit, and it was just awkward to set up.
Yeah,
I think that still has bands that you put the Wiimote or what Joy-Con in a
leg thing,
in a leg holster,
and then one on the band itself. And so
hey. If there's no gameplay in this trailer at all, so it's tough to tell what it is. It looks like people hanging out with their family as you do when you exercise. I want all my family members.
I mean, it's kind of like Labo. It's like they've sold a ton of Switches and it's got all this capable hardware in it. Like, why not try some other weird stuff?
No, when Nintendo
none of it compatible with the Switch Lite.
Whatever.
I guess you could buy a set of Joy-Cons and theoretically do it.
Well, unless this has to go out to a TV to work properly.
Yeah.
I think so. Switch Lite can't go out to a TV. It can't dock.
No, it cannot.
Oh, okay. Oh,
nope.
This doesn't seem like something you want to play.
It's not into docking.
Yeah.
Unless people figure out a way to like hack that out of it.
There's still a charge port on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but they
USB-C,
they may have just disabled the video out stuff on it.
We'll know soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
20th
in like a week and a half. And then lastly, there's a patent floating around from Japan filed by Nintendo for Joy-Cons with hinges in them.
Nintendo loves hinges. They always make good hinges.
Totally.
They definitely don't make bad hinges.
Yes, they've great history of very sturdy, resilient hinges with Nintendo. Any thoughts?
Does it get into where the hinge might be?
Yeah, there's an illustration in the patent. It's basically if you picture holding the Joy-Cons, it's where the kind of the tops of your thumbs are.
That's weird. It tilts down.
Like basically the left stick and the face buttons on the right one are where the hinges would kind of.
Maybe that's for comfort.
I was gonna say that just almost looks like just an ergonomics
thing.
It doesn't look like it'd be better though.
Maybe they're just gonna sell a new comfort Joy-Con set.
Is it actually a movable hinge?
Well, obviously, patent illustrations are usually pretty vague, but there's straight up a picture of a Switch with these Joy-Cons attached to it with the hinges.
You talked about the PlayStation 5 renders, right?
Not really. I mean,
it was weird.
That
looks weird.
That's not the console.
Well, Sony, it's a Sony something. Nobody knows what.
It's probably the dev
Sony
kit.
Something.
Yeah.
But the thought is that it's the dev kit. It's way too early for there to be a final housing design for the console.
A year off from that? There should be probably more. But probably final at Sony.
14, 15 months probably.
This is probably what
they probably are narrowing it down.
I'm sure they've got like sketches and stuff, but I think some of that is just like thermal considerations.
I wonder if it is still sketches and how much of it, between thermal considerations and like just the nature of 3D printing now. I wonder if it's sketches or if they're looking at like actual plastic and going,
I mean, you hear all about stuff like Johnny Ive's lab at Apple is full of like the highest end rapid prototyping gear in the world. I'm sure that Sony's got similar stuff.
It's like to imagine there's a dude somewhere like shaving a piece of wood down like in the car commercials, but it's just a console instead. That's it.
Anyway, no idea what this weird Joy-Con thing is, but we shall see. Capcom has come out and announced the next Resident Evil game prior to TGS, where people will get a chance to play it. It's called Project Resistance, and it appears to be a multiplayer game.
Yeah, like a co-op shooter.
Yeah, which
Those have always gone well in the past.
Everyone's loved the Outbreak.
Immediately raises the eyebrow because
Case 1 and 2 or whatever.
Resident Evil Outbreak is really something.
There was an audience for that Resident Evil Online game back on PS2.
Which one was that?
Like 5 people? Or?
It was called wasn't it just called Resident Evil Online, and they did Resident Evil Online Case 2 or something
like that. Yeah.
That was one that had like fake Tom Cruise in it and shit. Like
that was Outbreak. Outbreak was the one with all the fake celebrities.
Was that on PS2?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of that then.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's another online. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yes, it had fake Tom Cruise, fake Nicole Kidman, fake Ving Rhames, fake Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
I reviewed that game. It's really something. I don't know. Sure.
I guess
RE2 has really good shooting. Like the
Yeah.
feel of playing that Resident Evil 2 remake is quite good. So if it's just that with other people, sure, I could get into that. Could be some kind of Left 4 Dead-ish thing.
what was the last one they did? The multiplayer,
With multiplayer?
the
Wasn't Operation
competitive.
Wasn't
Yeah,
Operation
Operation Raccoon
Raccoon
City.
City.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Strong year for Resident Evil so far. But,
Yeah, that RE2 remake is a very, very good game.
What is this time frame coming out?
I don't think they've announced a release date.
They just say this is.
They just announced it, and
Yeah.
it's just a CG trailer. So
Hey.
hopefully we'll get to see what it actually looks like later this week.
They do CG really well.
Cube World.
Cube World.
It's coming out
Bullshit.
somehow.
What is Cube World? I've heard you guys mention this multiple times. I don't think I've
Might
ever looked
let
into
Jeff
this.
take that.
Okay,
Did you buy it?
I bought Cube World. I
Okay.
think it was 2013.
Yes.
There was an alpha build of Cube World you could buy into. It's a Minecraft-esque game in that it is the blocks, voxely,
Voxels.
But a little more like quest-based.
but a little
right?
more quest-based. It was, and at the time with where Minecraft was at, that was revelatory.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, Minecraft, but with stuff to do. Wow.
I see some people describing it as like Minecraft meets World of Warcraft. So that's what people were saying back then.
Yeah, I don't know. It was not an MMO per se.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that kind of open world quest design.
Yeah, it was designed to be more of like a questy sort of thing, leveling up. You know,
Which now sounds as old hat as it could possibly
totally like the idea of like that game. You're just like, what? Like surely someone else has done this by now.
Oh, didn't Minecraft do Minecraft Adventure or something like that? They did a
Yeah,
story,
but there's
Minecraft
yeah,
story.
that was-
there's
that's
Trove and Dragon Quest Builders and like so many games
Yeah.
have done exactly this.
So
now.
Cube World put out that alpha and then kind of went dark.
It's a one dude, right?
Yeah. And so the developer just kind of vanished.
Yeah.
Tweet
And-
every 2 years or something.
Yeah,
like that,
and then that went through a full cycle of angry fans to supportive fans to angry fans back and forth, and like there'd be a new screenshot here and there, and then it would go dark, and then you'd get the impression like, oh, he's still working on this, but the only publicly available version was still that initial alpha.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was disappointed in having to do that kind of talk to the public thing, and just like, I'm gonna wait until it's all done.
It sounds like that maybe he was not up for that task,
Sure.
and it like kind of wore on him
Mental health wise, yeah.
And so anyway,
Forget his name, but
we started seeing a lot more screenshots and a new title screen and a lot of stuff like that very recently, and now on the heels of that is this news that game is actually going to apparently receive an update.
Yeah, it's gonna hit Steam.
hey, well,
Yeah,
On
this month, right?
actual date. Okay, no, it's still just hopefully around the end of September.
Okay.
Or October.
I mean, think about like when that game hit, and what early access has become in the years since then.
Yeah.
And the standards for putting out an unfinished game and stuff like that. Like so much has changed
Yeah.
since then that it's bizarre to even think about this like relic from a different era of selling games. And like sure enough, so like after this, after the new screenshots hit, I thought, I wonder if the build got updated or something. So I logged into the website and downloaded it and installed it, and it was that same alpha from all those years ago. And I was like, man, wow.
He does describe what's coming out as basically Cube World 2.0.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be a big change.
I would have. You'd have to. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Right. Because what is out there was not. It was the sort of thing that I played it when like, oh, this seems like a promising concept, but none of that is really surfacing here in this build.
Right.
So I'll wait for the next one, and then
give me Terraria 3.
that was
That's what I'm looking for. Pump it right in my veins.
Is there a Terraria 2?
There was Outer or something. They had the offshoot one, like it was being developed by another company, not like Relogic, and they shut that one down because it wasn't up to their thing. And they still say Terraria 2 or 3 because there never was a Terraria 2, was there?
no,
just a
I
lot of
don't think
updates.
Yeah.
So I think there is still an official sequel in the works, but it's another one of those things where updates are very slim and far between.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty open about, some mental health struggles in the intervening years. And he says that he had like several versions kind of ready to put out there, but that he never felt like they were good enough. So like, he's pretty honest about this stuff. Anyway,
I'm excited. Like, honestly,
it's nice to like get closure on something like this. And if you bought into the alpha, you will get a Steam key.
Okay.
So
all right.
He's making good on that stuff.
Good, yeah. Because I was wondering, like, is this guy still going to run his own auth servers and stuff for this other version? That seems like a bizarre, just seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Just offload that stuff. Cool.
Yeah. And there's a new video out there of a bunch of gameplay. You want to see how it is shaped up.
Just a strange story.
It's a very odd
Yeah.
this kind of situation, but
I'm
glad that he brought it home.
Happy that he got to a place where he could get it out there, and hopefully it'll be cool. I mean,
quicker than Star Citizen.
Sure, yeah.
Does
this have Mark Hamill in it also? Is it?
I would hope so. He needs some work.
Yeah.
He needs some work.
That guy.
Speaking of make goods, the developer of Shenmue 3 has gotten out there with some information about how they're going to handle refunds for people who are upset that the game moved from Steam to the Epic Store.
Okay.
Don't think it ever technically was on Steam. They said they would send out Steam keys early in the Kickstarter process. I've read a lot of people have opinions about this whole situation.
They said they looked into trying to provide Steam keys to people who wanted them at launch, but that it just wasn't feasible with the policies of the various platform holders involved.
Yeah.
Why would Steam do that?
Valve won't let you not sell a game, but give away keys to use their infrastructure. And then they shouldn't. They shouldn't. That's,
But this game was Kickstarted, then it was picked up for publication. They have a publisher.
They do.
Who is it now? It's not Sega.
No, it's not.
It was a big one, though.
Is it 505?
Let me see.
So they got the money. I mean, they can afford to have whatever 10% refunds on the Kickstarters because they're going to make more than that.
Well, so Epic is covering the cost of any refunds they have to issue.
Oh, okay.
So there's already that's taken care of. Epic has a lot of money.
Yeah. That's interesting that they would set that precedent, though, because there are definitely other Kickstarter. We're getting to the point where no Kickstarters are going to say Steam keys exclusive early on.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, this is pretty limited. They're giving people a chance to change their platform preference, like if they want a PS4 key instead, or they can opt for a refund, but there's only a 2-week window in which you can do that, and then you lose your chance.
Yeah.
And they say that it could take between 20 business days to 3 months for you to get your refund.
I do refunds in a certain capacity during sales, and it is laborious in terms of clicking all the buttons for people who want like a $15 off. Because you renew it to sale full price, but they must be expecting a lot of people to sign up, or they don't have enough.
They said this is
they probably just want a wide window because of like if Epic is covering it, they have to report it to them, and these people some line items.
They say this is the lag is due to the fact that the campaign is now 4 years on, along with the complexity.
True.
Yeah. Along with the complexity of the transactions and payment service system arrangements.
I mean, some of those payments, honestly, refunds. So our system doesn't do refunds for over a certain amount of weeks or months. So if you're going back to something from 4 years ago, that is not as simple as issue. You are now making a new transaction to send them the money back.
And there may be cases where like, we did you reverse the charges, but that credit card has expired or something like that. Like
all
you can't
that stuff
do that.
I see why it would take a while now. That'd be complicated. Let alone if Epic is using a different payment processor than what they use for Kickstarter, that would be a whole. You're gonna have to send in your ID and proof of purchase and everything like that. It's gonna be complicated.
Well, they've got the proof because they have to fulfill the campaign at some point theoretically. But it's a mess. That's a fucking mess. That's a mess.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3 also apparently a mess from everyone who saw it at E3.
Yeah. Oh, also they're putting out they're describing it as a trial version of the game later this month.
Okay.
It's like an hour of the game.
All right.
So soon we will get to see for ourselves.
That's weird. I mean, if they did, you don't do that unless you have some kind of confidence in what you're putting out. So.
Yeah. Speaking of messes, remember Wade Callender, the former general counsel of Gearbox?
I eat at this restaurant all the time. The pies are delicious.
That's right. This is the guy who sued Gearbox, alleging a bunch of stuff about Randy Pitchford, and has been sued by Gearbox for seeking six-pack abs, among other things.
It's a messy it's hard to get 6-pack abs.
It's true. Costs a lot of money.
It easy myself when I did it.
Anyway, he has now been hired by the NRA.
Okay.
So if you needed another wrinkle to this bizarre saga.
Yeah, let's like
18
ratchet up
bajillion
another.
guns.
Here we are. That's true.
Well, he has tons of experience
He
with.
once represented a company that made a gun that shoots guns.
Yep.
Well, NRA is going through a lot of legal stuff themselves because they're
Oh, yeah.
suing like Wayne LaPierre, their former CEO, because they thought he was embezzling money. So that
I think he's still there.
I don't know.
Pretty
but
sure he's still in his position for now.
they are in a.
Oh no, actually, you're right. I think
they're in a
replaced by
mess
Oliver
legally.
North of all people.
Is this for lobbying or for actual like legal representation?
I'm looking at this CNN story where I
Because they
got
definitely
it.
need more lawyers at this point. It's a huge like implosion in terms of like all this stuff coming about.
Yeah, he's
expenditures.
replacing their previous deputy executive director / general counsel. So yeah,
he'll be probably involved in all that Wayne LaPierre stuff. It's been interesting to watch from the outside because like anything else where executives are spending a huge amount of money on stuff they don't need and booking it to the firm. There's been a lot of uprising among like rank and file NRA members.
And if that's the thing going on at the NRA, that sounds like a lot of what he alleged was going on at Gearbox. So
come in and fucking stick the bulldogs on it.
Yep.
It's weird. It's a whole weird story, and I'm not surprised they're tooling up for that fight because I think it's ongoing and really really seedy and weird about what was going on over there. Which a lot of NRA members are not like. I don't want to stereotype anybody, but if you just want to go out and hunt and that's your thing, you're probably not expecting the CEO of this company to be spending like a bunch of money on office refurbishment and stuff like that. It sounded really seedy. I don't know. I didn't look into it all the way, but I am not surprised they're looking for somebody who. Is he still involved in litigation though with Gearbox?
Yes.
Yeah, that
makes
still,
it complicated.
that is still pending.
So
That's a lot of split time in terms of some of your hiring.
someone sued and then the other party countersued, right? Aren't there 2 suits pending?
NRA or
Yes,
Gearbox?
No, I'm
because
talking
the-
just the
probably
Gearbox
both.
They
situation.
alleged that Wade Callender was like, misappropriating funds
Yes.
and all that other stuff. He was suing on the basis of
He said that Randy Pitchford sold like $3 million in royalties
12.
or something. Okay,
12,
that's a lot
yeah.
more.
He
Yeah.
accused Randy
Wow.
Pitchford of
taking a bonus payment all
secret
for himself.
$12 million
Secret
bonus.
Should have been for a distributor to the company.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably.
Well,
I mean, I don't know how their business works, so I can't say for sure. Maybe he earned all that money.
just sounds like he's going into the exact same situation that he just left.
Kinda,
which
yeah.
is weird. I mean, that trial with Gearbox is going to take up a lot of his time, so I'm surprised they would dedicate this kind of. I don't know. He knows what he's doing, I suppose.
Goes to
I
trial
don't know.
in January.
The Gearbox stuff.
Yeah, so this is not super clear which suit they're talking about.
Yeah.
One of them is going to trial.
All right.
Big drama.
Yeah.
That stuff's a real mess. That stuff has hung a gigantic cloud over Gearbox and over Borderlands
And
in
over
a way
Randy
that
Pitchford,
like,
especially.
I know there are people at 2K tearing their fucking hair out over how all this stuff went down.
I've heard more than a few people saying they're not going to buy Borderlands 3 because they don't want to give any money to Randy Pitchford, which is weird for people on the outside of that situation to be that angry about it, but he definitely doesn't. Sounds like people.
He made himself the face of that game.
Yeah.
And
By magic.
he has a sleight of hand and he, poof, there he was. But like at a time when like there were like a lot of very serious allegations out there about him, he chose to kind of stay on the front lines of it. And that's a weird call to make, I think. But
He has nobody can overrule him, as far as I know. 2K would have some power,
yeah,
you'd think,
some, but
they
not,
obviously
not as
chose.
much as they do in a lot of other cases. My understanding of my loose understanding of the business between
Those trials
two
will be fun to talk about. I have a feeling a lot of shitty stuff is going to come out, and it's going to be awful. But it's
it
going to
just
be
seems like
interesting.
just this huge slap fight of just like Callender and Pitchford to go way back, and if they go through this all the way,
receipts,
there was a
yeah.
bunch of shit that they could dredge up on each other and probably be real fucked up.
Yeah, supposedly like lifelong best friends,
Right.
or something
Yeah.
along
It's
those lines.
like Wade Callender opened with, and he's a pedophile, like those
Yeah.
types of things. It's like that's the starting salvo of like weird shit to bring up.
Sure.
That is still hanging over all this.
Yeah.
Like, by the way,
Yeah.
representative of this
all
game
porn.
has this charge out there. Like that again. Well, whatever. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Speaking of
We've talked about it
Borderlands-
before.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre tale.
It's just segue after segue here. Speaking of Borderlands, I wasn't expecting this to come up in news because we had been talking about this here internally a little bit, but then Kotaku ran a story about it yesterday, so it kind of became news. We didn't get Borderlands 3 early. Apparently, they didn't either.
Yeah.
That prompted Patrick Klepek from Vice to come out and say they also haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
let's see.
A number of outlets. So
VG 24/7.
our story is slightly different than the rest of them.
Yeah, I think
but,
we got different messaging
Yeah.
than some. But Jason
We'll get
Schreier
into that.
ran a story saying that first of all, the outlets that did get it for review did not receive like retail copies or codes for the game as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
They were apparently given logins to pre-made Epic Store accounts.
Yeah.
That had the game.
In itself, that's fine. But apparently they were.
That's hard to
So
review.
It's a little strange.
Yeah, it's strange.
It
but
means
it's
your
not-
progress doesn't carry over into a full
Oh,
version of the
right.
game
I
because
see.
it's not your account or
Means,
whatever.
that would
That's-
be-
again,
you don't have a real world.
So what?
Friends list to work with. It's a little out of the ordinary.
Friends list on Epic?
but that has happened before.
Yeah.
That alone is not entirely out of the ordinary.
It's not unheard of, but it is pretty uncommon.
And yes, and if I had to guess, I would say some of that is a result of the Epic Store is bad. Or like is not
do
fully is
keys.
not developed well on the feature side. We got keys for Tetris that worked prior to release.
Yeah, we've certainly gotten
so
codes
we have
for
gotten codes for games on the Epic Store
games
before they were
yeah,
out.
Absolutely.
So that is doable.
But if they were like pushing builds constantly, for
The-
instance-
Fortnite pushes a build every goddamn
Well, I
day
know.
some
Who
some
knows?
weeks,
Who
right? I
knows?
mean,
But the supposition here is that this is a pre-release version of the game that is not like
they got
ready.
caveats
Okay.
for that saying like, hey, or there were technical issues that were maybe not indicative of the final quality of the game, which again
Sure, always
happens.
Yeah.
There have been
Yeah.
cases where they send out, companies have sent out review builds with lists of things that'll be in a day one patch,
Oh, yeah.
or lists of things they're aware of that they're working on.
Yep.
That
And
is
I think the
common.
response there is just like, well, I don't know that we can base a final score on this version of the game because it's not the game. But again, companies have tried to do that over and over again over the years. It's not on its face all that out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
The
weirder-
most
Go on. Sorry.
the most unusual aspect of this is just the wide array of outlets who did not get access to review build of the game ahead of time.
And what, since you have the story right there,
Yeah.
what is the reasoning given?
I don't think
Kotaku wrote in their story, Kotaku requested access to Borderlands 3 for a review, but did not get access. A representative for 2K cited security concerns and told us we'd get code for the much anticipated shooter on Thursday, September 12th, the day before it launches. Quite a few European outlets also did not get access to it. Vice, like I said.
Yeah.
If I understood correctly, it sounded like Ars Technica turned down this strange arrangement.
Yeah, which
Was
if
what I saw being implied.
if the build's not the build, then
Yeah.
at some point you're like, why would we even waste our time playing it?
Anyway, reviews from the outlets who did get it hit yesterday.
Right.
And it's sitting at an 85 on Metacritic.
And so
right
they
now.
cited security concerns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which for 2 days before it launches, that's a little weird.
Also,
it's all-
they did have a big problem with someone
Yeah,
leaking a
they
bunch of
did.
stuff,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
took action against a YouTube creator
Somebody who had
that was,
access to pre-release stuff.
that found a bunch of shit that they shouldn't have or hacked. I don't know what the situation is
They
there.
just
but-
released some info about the game that was under embargo.
Yeah.
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 Which is
So
odd.
there was that happened.
Also, this is only Epic. No console versions of the game have gone out.
Right. No console versions have gone out.
Which
It
is
was
scary if
So
you-
so only PC reviews have hit.
Yeah.
Um,
And not all the reviews have been like overwhelmingly positive. I think Polygon had one that was not super.
Polygon's is unscored.
Oh,
PC
okay.
Gamer gave it a 63. That's the lowest one. Everyone else is generally 80s ish.
Yeah.
And the sentiment seems to be that it's
more
hey, it's more
Borderlands,
Borderlands. They made another one of those, which is what we've heard all along
Yeah.
of what that game was likely to be. So we didn't get when we inquired about it, we were not told, hey, there are security concerns. We were told, and I'm paraphrasing here, but we were told by a 2K PR representative that based on the sentiment of our E3 coverage, that they were going to send it to us a little closer to launch.
We've heard that before too.
Which,
Yeah.
if you, well, sure, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So if you want to take that, I feel like that just like empties a full magazine into the security concern shit and makes it sound a whole lot that they wanted to micromanage reviews for a good day one Metacritic. Congratulations to them for their 85 on day one. Nice.
A lot of
You nailed it.
publishers do this for games they're
Yeah,
unsure
I mean,
about.
to be clear, it is
happens
entirely
with movies, happens with
their prerogative to do it.
Yes. They are not entitled, we're not entitled to receive anything from them.
And on some level, I kind of appreciate the honesty.
But that's the thing is I feel like we got the actual answer and everyone else got this weird runaround.
Because we've been on the other side of that situation before where you ask, hey, what's going on with this? And then you get like, oh, we don't have enough copies when the person at the other website in your
building has a stack of them this high.
Like down the hall has just got like 10 copies or something.
all
It's
right.
like, yeah, okay, sure. Thanks for the update.
Yeah.
To put, I've done PR for a developer before, and luckily I never had to be. Wasn't at a publisher, but luckily I never had to make this. They're in a tight fucking spot. They can't make you too mad, but also they're blowing back on the shit.
They're serving the interests of business people who don't want to hear any shit.
Yes, the people in those PR roles and stuff like that are in a tight spot.
Yeah,
for
never
sure.
blame them for what this is coming down from way above their heads. So.
So it is the top level management.
So at the same time,
making these calls, I'm sure.
Like hearing that sort of stuff, you just start to look at it and go like, and you look at what they've tried to pull off with their day one review stuff, and you're like, man, they like have really low confidence in this game, huh?
Yeah, it seems that way.
Like that's what that says to me. Is that internally they're like, ugh.
They are spending probably tens of millions of dollars.
It's the sequel to Borderlands. Like Borderlands 1 and 2. Like this will sell on inertia alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fucking third Borderlands game.
Yep.
Like
they are putting the money behind it.
For as much as like it hasn't necessarily looked like tremendous in some of the preview stuff, and for as much as like Gearbox's own weird issues have, put that cloud over it, like I really want to see what a third Borderlands is like.
Me too.
I think the writing in Borderlands 2 was not good, but some of those people are not there anymore, and
so the gameplay was really fucking fun.
Most of the reviews I looked at said the writing is worse.
Yes. So yes, in the context of that, that's maybe. But like I'm saying, as someone going into the game, like I am fucking really looking forward to seeing Borderlands 3 for myself.
Sure. Forget who said it, but somebody said the game's attitude about sex jokes was like from the perspective of a 13-year-old who's never had it, and that seemed like I don't know. We'll know more later.
From the developer that owns the Duke Nukem IP.
Yeah.
So that's a weird. This is a weird situation, and I think it's probably, if I had to guess, I'd say it's like multiple issues coming together on like something about the Epic Store is probably to blame here with regards to access to builds and all that sort of stuff, but also they seem as skittish gets about the reaction to the game, and that's why they've really tried to micromanage it. Yeah. And that speaks volumes at the end of the day. Like I still am hopeful for it and really want to see what they put together.
Like I said, this happens in movies a bunch where they will market something up and then not send it out, not have a review screeners at all for something they're worried about. Yeah. And then invariably that does and they're not cutting it off entirely. Like
over the years, 2K has done both of these things in different forms where they've been like, oh, we didn't send this out for review, or it got super limited distribution for review. And then also, I don't know if you have ever dealt with this, but like 2K was the one company that was running it was like an extra layer of DRM on top of their review builds. Yeah. And it was some kind of like 2K portcullis. Yep. That you would run alongside a review build of a game, and you'd have to download that separately. They would send you an email with the portcullis download for that build of the game. Mm-hmm. You would play the game on Steam. It would be a separate review branch. So like, they've also been weird about securing builds of games.
For an online kind of shooter, I mean, I get that they don't, because this game can't play
online
offline.
Shooter.
I get
it. It's a 4-player game.
You can play it offline.
It's not a
It's still just weird. We'll know more later this week about the quality of that game, I think.
I mean, it's out Friday, right?
Yeah.
So we'll check it out then and see how it goes. Or maybe they'll send us, I think we got the same follow-up response that Kotaku did about builds, and if they stick to that, which we'll see. We'll see what comes out the other end. It's hard to imagine a world where like the console versions of that don't run well. Yeah, I mean it's just Borderlands 3 on some level. That should run fine.
It doesn't look very different.
They've done the remasters of the old games. Like they've had experience on these consoles, so it just, nothing about that strikes me as something that would be an issue, given what that game is. So I I'm not reading anything into that.
Get me in there shooting. I like the shooting in those games. I like the abilities and playing with people.
Give me the
enough.
fun guns.
Yeah.
And hopefully a character class that is good.
Get this. One of the rare guns is apparently called the butt plug. Yeah.
Sick.
Watch out, dude. Don't cut yourself on the edge.
Damn. Apparently, they put the gun that shoots guns in there properly this time.
Good.
So they closed the loop on that.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. We'll know soon.
Hope everything is good.
Me too.
You don't ever want a game to be bad. How you guys feeling about emails? We need another break? Or shall we
I could go right into it.
roll right into this inbox?
My bladder's not full yet.
All right. Bombcast at giantbomb.com.
I use the cheat code, so mine's always full.
Ready to go at any time.
Yeah.
Moment's notice. Email from Brian.
Hi, Brian.
The crews of the Bomb and Beastcasts are usually pretty stoic during reaction videos, so seeing people who've been reporting on games for 20 years legitimately surprised when Deadly Premonition 2 popped up was a lot of fun. Is that the most what-in-the-fuck game announcement ever? Are there any other standouts you can remember that were nearly as baffling? Maybe Shenmue 3 or the initial Labo reveal?
PSO2 coming to the U.S.
Yeah.
This many years after the fact.
That was a weird one.
I've been more shocked by other games at E3, but I not on the top of my head. Like
I'm trying to think.
I think those are the truly shocking ones in two ways, right? On one hand, you're like, I can't believe this game is being made, period.
Sure.
And then you're like, I can't believe this game has rated this spot in this video presentation or E3 stage show, or like the idea that it's being presented in such a way that you've got someone on a stage like, and we've got Deadly Premonition 2. You're like, that's weird. Like, that seems like something you would just get a press release for one day, or it'd be on Twitter, and you're like, what?
It's a different thing, but Keanu at E3 was like one of the most.
Okay.
I did not see that. I don't think he's never done like a game like this, so that was pretty shocking for me to have him actually just show up for the press conference is weird. They're obviously paying him a lot of money, but
Trying to think of my favorite Megaton.
Megaton.plan.
Honestly, like it's just, maybe it's because it's in the front of my head right now because of recent anniversaries, but like the Dreamcast death, like the discontinuation of support for the Dreamcast, and
that was something that at the time was shocking, and then immediately afterwards you're like, oh yeah, I guess
totally,
so, huh?
totally. But it's still just thinking about
at the time. I was like, oh my god,
thinking about what the balance of power was in the game industry for so many years through the 90s. For the idea that Sega just threw in the towel, like gave up and started making games for other people's consoles.
I mean, like it was just like the retailers kind of forced their hand on it, right? I think that they had gotten enough bad news strung together in terms of just like what type of shelf space they were likely to get going forward.
Yeah.
And software development going forward. I think they must have just been looking at enough charts and graphs and just been like,
it's less that
guys,
it didn't,
we can't.
Right. It's less that it didn't make sense and more just it's just a seismic shift, you know?
Yeah.
Like such a change.
And you take Sega's history into account as a console maker and stuff too.
Right.
It's just
like they were one of the two players in the game industry for a very long time.
They got out the game. We're done.
Not to turn this just into like the biggest news stories ever, but I remember the Bungie getting loose of Microsoft story being completely insane at the time.
Yeah.
NFL exclusivity for NFL.
That was a pretty big one.
The Madden
back
one.
in the GameSpot.
Yeah, those were big stories.
Yeah.
Of course, the Gizmondo crash. That was huge.
The one nobody saw coming.
Yeah.
When the Wii name was revealed.
Yeah,
I remember
the announcement of the Wii name was...
People were just like, what the fuck? I remember you came in and said, does it have Wi-Fi? Like, what was the joke? It was nothing but jokes from that day forward.
Yeah.
Only the hottest.
That
jokes.
reaction video is probably still on
Seeing,
GameSpot.
I may have mentioned it before, but seeing the assets, the JPEGs of the Wii controllers, the Wii remotes, like the night before they got announced with no context.
Yeah.
No context for like how the game's played or what the system did.
Right.
Was a complete mindfuck.
Because you didn't, it was until they got on stage and turned it sideways, you were like, oh.
Like, I think when
even then, it was still like,
when we got a hold of the assets, I don't think we even knew about the motion stuff at all.
No, it was just like, here are these sticks.
It was just like, is this thing a TV set-top box? What the fuck, is this a remote control?
Enjoy the game stick.
Yeah.
That was later.
Yeah.
That's the
different type of stick.
Biggest stuff that stands out to me. Steven in Alabama.
It's probably stuff that like the Saturn being immediately available was a big weird deal at the time.
Yeah, totally. Surprise release of the Saturn.
Internet was not the same as it was then, so no one was recording reaction videos to the
95, I think it might be 5.
I was in high school, I know, because I won one for free
Damn.
in a contest. Which was, at the time, it was like $450.
Yeah, I think it was $400 in the mid '90s. Like that's
drop price
crazy.
quick to sell.
Yeah.
Stephen in Alabama. How come no other console manufacturers took advantage of HuCard or HuCard-like media formats? I mean, it's games on a card. Just imagine pulling out one of those folding credit card cases full of video games at any time.
Is that TurboGrafx?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TurboGrafx.
It
games
was
for
neat. It
people-
looked cool.
Yeah, the games were just cards. They looked about the size of a credit card.
Well, now we're just codes, so it's
Switch games come on a. Yeah, that's
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
pretty close.
I mean, these were like these almost looked like playing cards. Like,
They're a lot
kind
thicker.
of that.
They
Well,
were,
yeah,
yeah.
but they're generally that footprint.
How do they
the,
taste,
the,
though?
The Sega Master System, they were delicious.
Oh, that's right.
The Sega Master System had 2 slots on
Optionally,
it.
you
One for
could-
cartridges, one for cards.
Yeah, I guess it was just to save money. I assume games that were smaller.
Yeah.
What kind
Probably
of
why they did that.
technology was that? It wasn't Flash.
Nothing.
It was early.
It's the
No,
same
it was just
thing,
the
I
same
think.
stuff. It was
Just a
just cheaper.
smaller-
Oh,
you know,
really? Just
yeah.
smaller?
And so I want to say that in Japan that was different because like that maybe got sold a little differently over there, where you maybe bought the card add-on for your Mark III or for your previous Sega platform or whatever it was. They might have done that a little differently over there. I'm not
The big
clear
thing's
on that.
still, well, to this day, it's still shelf space. Like the Switch boxes could be a 10% of their size, but they're bigger, so they pop out on a stand. And that's true of all media. I mean, CD cases could be a lot smaller too.
I found all of my old CD long boxes in my parents' basement a few
Dude.
weeks ago.
If you're under the
Still
age
got 'em.
of about 40, you will not remember the day A1 CDs were being sold in stores, but they also came in these huge plastic packages to
They were
make them
cardboard.
Cardboard,
I
yeah.
got like
cardboard.
40 of
Well,
those things.
they were trying to fit them into the same depth holes that records went into.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to be the same
Yeah.
height as a
Yeah,
record.
So it's the height of an LP.
yeah.
Just
cover.
amazingly
But the
wasteful.
width of a CD.
Yeah. Just
And then
amazing.
So before that transition
huge-
came out, they actually had plastic that would make the CDs like taller, essentially. So
That's
yeah,
right,
it was
yeah.
they were put in like a frame or
Yeah.
something just to
Yep.
bring them
Yeah.
up to a
To
certain
remember
height.
that.
elevate them on the
Goddamn.
shelf. That's right.
It was such a weird. You
I
can
think
still Google for long boxes on.
I had all my long boxes tacked to my wall when I was
I've got my Milli Vanilli long box.
Yeah.
all right.
You go on eBay, you can still find them. They're collector's items or some of the stuff.
Yep.
It's weird because those kind of went away and everything got really small with CD packaging. Now it's like the big thing is expensive ass vinyl collector's editions for like mint. There were 250 copies of this album.
Colored vinyl.
And some of them are amazing looking. Like I have some. I don't have a record player, but I got some colored vinyl one time at a concert, and it's just like take it out and frame it. It's my opinion.
Ben from Seattle. I combined a Snickers and a Twix today.
Cool.
I ask you, is this a Twickers or a Snicks?
Snickster.
I don't feel A1. I don't feel like that would be. Does he say if it was a good
No,
combination?
he's just asking. Well, the rest of the email is Reese's on a Kit Kat is also an all-time combo.
Mhm.
What candy combinations have you tried? Email blew my mind. I have never thought
I don't
about
think I've
just
ever done that.
cramming 2 candy bars together before.
Yeah.
Skittles and Parmesan goldfish
What the
taste
fuck?
delicious at the same
Get the
time.
fuck out of
I
here.
shit you not. With a nice
That's
cold Coke. It is a
That is
very bizarre
disgusting.
melange of tastes.
When there were times when like I didn't have time for lunch and I was eating out of the vending machine here,
Yeah.
that I found that I hit upon what the most like actually like satisfying is not the right word, but you know, in terms of like, oh, I'm no longer hungry.
Yeah.
It would be a Snickers bar and a bag of pretzels. And just and actually
Yeah.
Those
that
seem like they would taste
over
better
the
together.
years, I think
Yeah.
candy manufacturers came to realize like, oh, pretzels with the salt and that
Yeah.
salt
And
and
the
the
chocolate.
chocolate.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. I would say it says Trickers is one of the options, right?
Twickers or Snicks?
What was it? Triggers?
Twickers or Snicks?
Twickers.
I think he's really just asking what are good candies to shove together.
I think Twickers would be a better, like, recognizable brand.
It sounds very British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my Twickers in a twist.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. I took the Twickers fell down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I highly recommend Snickers and Skittles and Parmesan.
insanity.
It's so
just
good. It tastes so good.
Nonsense.
I have to be at the same time. You have to be chewing both at the same time.
What if you stirred all that into some nacho cheese?
I think we have a cooking segment on UPF that we are planning
Okay,
out
yeah.
loud.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of Butterfingers, but those Butterfinger peanut butter cups, if you've seen those,
Yeah.
I have.
are some top tier fucking peanut butter
My
cups.
understanding is that
Very good.
they have re-engineered the Butterfinger.
Yeah.
recently.
Did that
The
trickle
main
down to the
bar-
okay? Because that's what is good about these peanut butter cups is because you don't get the awful stuck to your teeth feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
If that's
that is honestly why I stopped eating Butterfinger decades ago.
Yeah,
Was just like it's
same.
not worth it.
if they've fixed the candy bar, then I might have to look into that.
I'm not a big candy guy anymore, but
I don't actually eat.
I do like a Twix
candy bars.
extra large one, like the bigger Twixes. Pretty good.
Speaking of weird food combos,
Mm-hmm.
Justin writes in, actually kind of just want to show you this picture before I say it out loud, let you react in real time.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. how I
It's
feel
a
about
bottle of Buckfast barbecue sauce.
that. Okay.
Is Buckfast
Thoughts?
known as a brand
Oh,
for that
yeah.
kind of stuff?
No,
is-
not
it
for
is
that kind
now.
of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, barbecue is a thing.
Any thoughts?
No thanks.
I would
don't-
try any barbecue sauce once. I mean, you can't use it if it's as interesting as Buckfast is as itself. It might not be the best barbecue sauce I've ever had, but the competition is strong in the
I'm
barbecue
trying to
sauce.
remember
area.
what Buckfast even tastes like. It's like
We probably have a bottle around here somewhere if you want.
yeah, but we don't tend to open those because they're so hard to get.
I don't know.
It's
It's like a potion in
Is
a
it-
Final
is it-
Fantasy game where I
yeah.
save them all for
like
the end of my life.
grape based, right?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
gravy-based?
You need it.
What?
Grape.
Grape.
Grape
You
based.
need it.
That's
Still,
usually
it's
or
just-
like a rice wine or something. Yeah.
not my favorite usually
Yeah.
brand of liqueurs.
It's
or
like
liquors.
it's edging up against the like Mad Dog 2020 end of things.
Okay.
we had some
Or that
great.
fortified
I thought
wine.
I remembered it being kind of herbal, like sort of
Yeah.
aromatic.
Yeah.
we had
Like
some,
a Fernet.
really?
Not all the way to Fernet.
Or an Ungape.
Okay,
So
now
like
you're
a
talking.
digestif or something.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's a fine Buckfast after a meal.
digestif.
There's some.
Oh, it's
good-
caffeinated. I forgot.
It's
that.
made by
Oh,
monks. I
God,
mean, of
really?
course- Oh,
No.
right. Yes. Also,
Yes,
it's
that's the
caffeinated.
other thing.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Oh man. All right. Jeff will probably appreciate this email, although the other people this was written for are not here. Those are probably Jan and Michael Hyam.
Mhm.
And Alaska, actually.
Okay.
Ben from Nashville. ArcSys should make the next Def Jam game. Dragon Ball Fighter style. Who is the Goku? What do the auto combos look like? Who is the Goku of the Dragon or of the
Who's the
Def Jam?
Goku of a Def Jam game?
Doesn't Hasbro? No, Hasbro owns Death Row Records now. Not,
Yeah,
not,
yes,
not,
yeah.
not
That's right.
Def Jam. Sorry.
Yeah, they bought Death Row somehow through some holding company.
Yeah.
One of those weird technicalities.
Isn't like Suge Knight is like in jail from now on, right? Isn't that right?
Suge Knight is.
I know he's in jail, but I think wasn't it like a pretty serious sentence this time?
Did he pass away?
No, he's still.
I believe it was long term, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. There was. Yeah. My understanding is he was going away for a long time.
Def Jam-
28 years.
Okay. Yeah.
is Def Jam still an entity as a record
Yeah,
label?
it is. Yeah. I don't know who's signed to Def Jam these days, but
Yeah.
it's
It's not
still-
It's not a word I hear very much.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's become an imprint of some larger multi-global conglomerate.
Globo Ketcom.
Yeah.
I went to defjam.com and Pusha T is at the top.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
Yes. Right. Yes.
we
He's.
go.
Yeah.
2 Chains.
Yeah. All right.
Some good names.
That's a good roster.
I'm just gonna stick to the ones I've heard of.
Big Sean.
Big Sean.
Big Sean.
Uh,
Fabulous. Still making
fabulous.
A
Wow.
whole lot of people I have not heard of.
Justin Bieber. Are you
Apparently,
okay?
Kanye.
All right. Kanye, I thought mostly goes through his own shit.
Well,
now.
it's everyone's an imprint of an imprint of an
Yeah,
imprint.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
it's
guess
like
you're
you
right.
Logic is big.
Logic.
yeah.
Nas.
Yeah.
Pusha T.
All right. They've got a bench
Yeah.
if they make another game.
But the thing is
Vince
the
Staples is a good
game
one.
the game didn't always just have Def Jam artists in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, true.
So they,
Well, you have to lead with Bieber, though, right?
oh,
That's
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the Goku?
It's probably a bad dad. There are probably a lot of rappers that are bad dads.
I don't know. Out of that list, Kanye would seem like the most prominent. Pusha T's way up there, too. But I'm going to let you field this one, Jeff, because you're way more.
Yeah, I don't know who I would take. Like who in the rap game would be the most. Like I'm trying to think about it because like if there's Goku in the sense of what Goku represents as a main character, but then there's Goku in the sense of in Dragon Ball Fighters there are 9 different versions of Goku in it. So like that's a harder thing to
Kanye's
duplicate.
multiple personalities.
Yeah, who has reinvented themselves a bunch of times.
The other issue is that no rapper would ever let themselves be in this game without being they want to be the king. I mean, I would assume, at least among the top like 3 or 4 people, it would be a big blow if they weren't.
If you were doing that, sure, but yeah, every time they've done these games, everyone's been on relatively even footing. It's not, the main character in the last one was a created character, so, I think it was a created character, and then you would go fight E40.
Hey, I want to.
Really?
I know. I want
If
to.
you beat him, do you get to own?
I want to fight G-Eazy.
You get to own his Fat Burger locations.
G-Eazy after the mid football game videos last night. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't. But
Seemed He's an Oakland guy, so it can't
Yeah,
be too mad. But
yeah.
did not seem like a fun 3-minute break in those football games to watch a dude dance around on a car with like laser shooting out of his fingers.
That does sound fun when you describe it, but
It was,
but I'm not a fan.
yeah.
Joe from Ventura, California. With Crash Team Racing Nitro and Spyro Reignited coming out, I've been itching for Sly Cooper on a modern platform. Sony owns Sucker Punch, so licensing shouldn't be an issue. Does Sony think the series wasn't popular enough for a remake? It was 6 years between Sly 3 and Thieves in Time, and it's been 6 years since Thieves in Time came out.
They did was that PS3?
Could have sworn
That they did the
Like
collection?
a trilogy or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
I'm assuming that they're just working on more.
Well, Sucker Punch is making
Second
Ghost
Son or
of,
whatever,
Ghost of Tsushima,
Oh, right.
which looks
Dying Light? What is
very
it called?
cool.
Infamous Second Son.
yes,
First
Infamous.
Light was the.
Sly Collection came out in 2010, so
Okay.
That's a good launch game
kind
for
of,
the console.
kind of happened
Like that
already.
Came a bunch.
Yeah, he basically
That wasn't a launch game.
I'm pretty sure
It was
it's
close
game?
to launch.
Second
Infamous.
Son
was not.
Yeah,
Was it
It
not?
came out like 3-4 months.
Oh,
it, came
I
out,
guess.
it actually
It
came
was-
out like March after.
I could have
launch.
sworn it was. I don't
No.
know. I didn't get a PS4 right off.
I bought a
first.
PS4 to play that game, and
It
it
was
was several
Launch
several,
window.
several months after.
I know people have mixed opinions about it, but I thought
That was the
It didn't
story where
grab
like
me.
I remember in the run up to Infamous coming out, there was a story that like a bunch of copies got stolen in Saudi Arabia and distributed like being sold on eBay early and all this other weird shit.
Interesting.
Like
I
someone
assume they're making
hijacked a
more.
shipment or-
I don't know if that brand is worth like.
well, they're making Ghost of Tsushima now.
yeah,
so
Oh,
it's like
okay.
if they-
Yeah.
I
That might be something get returned to on a new console because like that Infamous's brand of like effects heavy physicsy type stuff.
you want to show off some ray tracing.
Yeah.
to a
That's a
control
good- that's a
control
good way to do
engine.
it.
Infamous.
That'll be a ways off though.
Yeah,
'cause they've
that's
got this
fine.
other game.
I'm not dying for more Infamous. I just think those games are fun.
I don't know about Sly Cooper coming back anytime soon. It's just a gut. It's just
I don't
gut-
see it.
gut
I
feeling.
don't see it.
I know him as a brand way less than I know
Yeah.
Infamous.
I mean,
so,
I could see them bringing those games out again in some format.
Yeah.
Or perhaps making those games run on a new platform that runs multiple generations of PlayStation games or something. But I don't see them doing new development in Sly Cooper anytime soon.
Travis from Tulsa. The colored lighting talk on the last Bombcast triggered a specific memory for me. I can vividly remember seeing the Source Engine demo before Half-Life 2 launch and the Steam launch, and it completely blowing my mind. My question is, what is your best blow your mind moment in game tech?
Soul Calibur, way up there.
Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast was a big one for sure.
Doom 3 was
Yeah.
way up there in terms of lighting and
I'm-
stuff.
I'm trying to
The
remember-
trailers for Doom 3.
Maybe you guys remember, was it the same E3 where the Doom 3 demo and the Half-Life 2 demo happened? I think it
Gosh.
was, right?
That sounds
Because
like
both of those demos,
the
I
same time frame.
I got into both of those demos. I'm pretty sure they were the same year, and they were both fucking completely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Although Doom 3 was way more impressive at the time.
Upgrading my PC with a 3DFX card for Quake was
Yeah, just
revelation.
straight up GeoQuake
Mhm.
is like maybe the definitive answer.
Yeah, just 3D acceleration in general. That game went from pretty good to pretty fucking awesome. It's hard. It's the same game, but looked way better.
Curved surfaces in Quake 3 was a big one.
Nerbs.
NURBS.
I go
Oh, you
to
mean
more,
non-uniform rational basis splines?
Those are the ones.
more recently. I'd say Assassin's Creed Origins was just a stunner of a game. I got that new monitor, I got the new 1080 Ti, and just like playing that game for the first time and seeing that world presented at high end was really kind of amazing.
Yeah. We talked about it on that Game Tapes recently, but Metal Gear Solid 2
Yeah. All
Was
the
a
Oh yeah.
pretty much all the
fucking impressive showcase for the PS2 when it came out.
Pretty much all the Metal Gear Solid, especially if you're talking about tech moments.
3
trailers.
did not run so hot when it.
You know, MGS2, the trailer where he comes down off that bridge and throws off the cloak was just like
Yeah, and like
jaw-dropping.
shooting bottles and having them
Yeah.
explode
Oh,
and stuff.
man, the
Like, it
tech
was-
demo for
all
that-
that was unheard of.
Holy mackerel!
Like that thing was mind blowing.
Yeah,
Um,
is Kojima that involved in the tech part where he pushes? Or is just his team that good? Do we
I don't know.
know?
I don't
Is he still programming stuff behind the
No,
scenes,
I-
or
no,
you doubt?
I don't think so.
I highly doubt it.
But has he ever?
I'm not sure what
That's
his
weird.
actual.
Because they have some amazing engineers working on those games, and it's
Yeah.
always been
Yeah.
even MGS5 at the time was like not a step above everything else, but it just
Like,
packed-
you know, they made that engine for that
Yeah.
game. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if you take that into account, and like it's a really solid engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was disappointing in a way that
they didn't do more.
yeah.
Alex from Brazil. When given the option to change your outfit or skin at the start of a game, do you do it? I often find it weird to play with any other outfit than the default, at least for my first playthrough. Felt like this with Control, cool outfits, but I stuck with the default till the end.
I've only found one other outfit in Control.
Do they do anything in that game, or are they just cosmetic?
No, they're just cosmetic. I
yeah.
found one along the way, and then there's
Side
one
quest
when you finish the game.
It's weird. You have that post-world thing where you can go do side quests, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't changed mine.
I'm trying to think of, I can't think of a lot of games that give you that option at the beginning.
Well, I mean, unless it's like armor stuff.
Yeah.
Or it's like pre-order, like, hey, you pre-ordered and get this bonus skin. Like, if it's like a story-driven game, like I'm usually not changing into the dumb skin for the story.
I would occasionally change up my leisure wear in Mass Effect for when I was just, chilling on the Normandy.
Yeah.
Put on my casual.
Online games, though, I usually make it a point not to do anything other than the default, because you kind of, like Rocket League, I never added anything bells and whistles to my car. Just because.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why even play Rocket League?
I thought it was more fun to run around as like a little tiny car and do the defaults. I mean, that's what I've always done in multiplayer games. Like, it's not something I fool around with because I don't.
Talking crazy.
Yeah, well, you can go down that rabbit hole of buying cosmetics and stuff like that. I've never.
I mean, what Quake 2 skin did you use?
Oh, 0 maybe? I forget.
That's
It's
3.
been a long time.
Okay.
Oh wait,
But
Quake 2? Were there skins in Quake 2?
Yeah.
I thought it was just default. It was a default model, right? But that had different skins on it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that's right, yeah.
It's been a long time.
But you played 0 in 3?
It's been a while.
The monk?
The end boss.
The deathmatch monk?
The end boss.
I forget.
Man.
It's been a long time.
I always played as Doom guys. Or as Phobos, the one that had the
Yeah.
animated
Yes.
visor texture.
Yeah, I did him for a little while. Did the Quake guy for a little while.
Eyeball
but
was always
it's-
popular.
It's always comes back to Orb.
Yeah.
Aaron in Connecticut. Where do you fall on the X versus cross debate for the X button on a PlayStation control? Actually, never mind. I don't care because the only correct answer is neither. The face button symbols are just icons corresponding to the numbers 1 through 4 in the common Japanese order. So the X button is just 2. In fact, some very early PSX codebooks used those numbers until later editions added circle, X, triangle, and square symbols.
Circles.
I didn't know what he was talking about because he didn't
Well, I guess circle has no sides.
explain how those correspond to numbers until I just looked at the symbols in his email and I was like, oh wait, of course. A circle is 1 line,
Yeah.
an X is 2, a triangle is 3, and a square is 4.
That took me a minute.
Number of
Okay.
segments in the symbol is the number.
They also tried to have like in Japan, like those buttons had, it was like the square was for map, triangle was view, and then the X and O were like the yes and no.
Right.
Which is why they're reversed in Japan, because
Right.
the 0 is there, the O is yes.
Yes.
And
All I know is that the decision to make those symbols cost me a lot of time as a game guide editor because you had to write out triangle button every time
right.
rather
Sure.
than A, B, C, D.
Yeah, I can see it. It's the X button, man. Come on.
well, yeah, that's the thing is like, when people say like, oh, it's always been cross in the official documentation, it's like, I don't think I've ever heard any US based PlayStation person call it cross.
Yeah.
Right.
Like US based PlayStation employee use the word cross. That has always been
I've used
British.
it before, and I think it's similar to the GIF and GIF kind of arguments.
Yeah.
Like GIF is supposed to be the correct term, but no, everybody says GIF.
But yeah, I feel like in the UK and in Japan, it's always been cross. Also, like that's
Right.
not new either. Is that they always would call it cross.
But you said US people will call it X, though?
X.
You'd think there'd be like
I
some
don't know.
style guide for the
Yeah.
whole company.
I was given
There probably
instructions
is,
to
but
Brad
ignore
last
it.
week on which buttons to hold down to sync like a Brook controller, and I said cross.
That's right,
Weird.
you did.
Yeah,
Weird.
That
I
threw
don't
me
know where
for-
it
I
came
wonder if
from.
maybe it said
It's
that
because
in
you
the-
were reading something that probably
Probably.
said it. Yeah.
Because that documentation, I think, was, well, I'm not sure where those things are made, but not here. It's X.
Yeah, it's X. But like if you think about the UK as like the knots and crosses type stuff, like cross is probably just a more common term for that sort of stuff there than it would be here.
This all spawned what, on Twitter, I think is where this
I don't
happened? Like
know.
somebody from Sony got out there in the last few days and said it was crossed definitively.
Yeah, like
and
officially.
and this spawned
And
some
that's, I
giant-
think the thing is officially it has always been cross. Like
Right.
that's yes.
It's
That's
just that nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
My favorite trolley response that I saw on Twitter about this was Yes, the cross button joins its fellow buttons, ring, box, and pyramid.
Yeah.
Might just switch to using those exclusively. Well, shit. I've got an email about Pokemon cards that I wanted to read, but I forgot that Jan wasn't going to be here. Probably save that one.
Yeah.
Ian from Minneapolis.
Yo.
I drive a Ford Fiesta ST, commonly referred
I drive a Ford Fiesta ST.
Commonly referred to as Fist online, that sporadically had the battery completely drain overnight. This was due to a software bug which caused the car to continually search for Bluetooth after I had turned it off.
Oh, God. Wow.
As a software developer, I found it a little interesting, but as an owner who had to navigate an arcane, outdated support website to find a .bin file to copy to a FAT32 formatted flash drive with specific allocation size, then sit in my car as a robotic woman's voice told me she was performing an upgrade, I found it frustrating and a bit horrifying.
That's amazing.
That's where we're at. We're going to have to reboot cars. And
Yeah.
Is that an electric?
This is for, we talked
Electric?
last week about having to update
Not
cars,
necessarily.
I don't know what Ford
update firmware on cars.
I don't think it is.
Why would it be? How could it drain the battery that much to be pinging from Bluetooth? Like
So
overnight?
I had a.
I know I've had this happen before on my phone where it doesn't recognize Wi-Fi and I keep on doing it. It'll drain the battery more. But
Do you remember the E3 where I got that Cadillac?
I drove down with you,
Vaguely.
maybe, or did
No,
you
you
rent
didn't.
It?
But
Okay.
so
Wasn't that provided by
it
some
was provided
sponsored-
by Cadillac.
Okay.
Okay.
So they were like, "Hey, would you be interested in driving to E3?" Like sales was like, "Would you be interested in driving to E3 in a Cadillac?" And we're like, "Fuck it, sure, why not?" And so Rich and I were going to go to E3 in a Cadillac. We had to go to a dealership, pick up the Cadillac. Showed up looking like we look, right? The guy at the Cadillac dealer's like, "Oh, get a load of you guys." Like, gave us a fucking ration of shit.
Yeah.
Driving this Cadillac off the lot, like, "Oh, corporate says you get this car." I don't know. It's like, fuck off, dude. Like, we're here on a fucking sales call. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of my way. So we get this fucking Cadillac, drive it back to the office. I park it in the garage here. And this is like midday.
Yeah.
Noonish, whatever.
Sure.
I come out. This is the day before we're leaving for E3, by the way. I come out to the garage to leave and go home for the night so that I can drive to E3 in the morning. It's fucking dead. Battery is completely dead. Turns out that there was that specific Cadillac had a software issue or something where like the pressure sensor gauges, the tire pressure sensor gauges that would read in the car like, "Hey, your tire pressure is low," never turned off. And were in some kind of mode when the car was off that was causing the battery to drain immediately.
That's insane for me to think about the size of a car battery and the amount of juice in there.
Yeah.
Exactly. For it to drain that dead that fast.
Because now you can like leave your interior lights on and shit, and they won't drain and stuff like that. Their batteries are just smarter about all this shit.
Yeah.
That's a terrible story. What happened? Did you tow it or something?
Well, I called I think we went back upstairs and said like, "Hey, this Cadillac's fucked." And they sent out a tow truck who just looked at it and went, "Oh yeah, this thing's completely dead."
Oh, God.
And I've seen this before. It's just going to die again.
I can't even jump it.
And we're like, "Okay, fuck this thing." And then I ended up like, Greg had room in the SUV he had rented.
Man.
And so Rich and I piled into that the next day.
Did you not have a car of your own at that point?
No.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yes, but like,
you don't
they
have
would rented a bunch of cars. Like,
Yeah,
there wasn't
sure.
a point.
That's fun. I mean, I know Teslas, if you park in their driveway, they'll lock onto your Wi-Fi and do like over-the-air updates and stuff like that, which
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like a smarter way of doing this. But it baffles the mind to know that Bluetooth ping could actually drain a car battery. It'd be even more impressive if it was like an electronic battery. If it's a fuel battery, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a huge amount of. I don't know how batteries work at all. I know they're impossible.
They hoard the juice, and then you get the juice out of them. And then when they're empty, you throw them in a landfill and laugh. I think is how that works.
just feed them to your kids.
Yeah.
Breakfast cereal.
Yep.
Just the amount of energy for potential. I know you need to run a car a lot to recharge the battery, but
Yeah.
just a Bluetooth ping actually killing a car, that's crazy to me.
Apparently.
I mean, do anything enough, I suppose it'll drain it, but I don't know.
That Cadillac thing, I'm still mad about it because it was like we had to jump through so many weird hoops to make it happen, and it was such a hassle. But it was like, oh, this might be fun.
Sure.
And then it just turned into such a boondoggle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a stressful time.
Yeah. You don't ever want anything bad to happen like the day before.
Yeah, and I think at some point we had to just tell the dealership, like, you need to come get this fucking car out of our parking garage right fucking now. And they towed it back. I remember sales being unhappy with how it all went down. I was like, well,
Hey.
They gave us a fucking shitbox. What do you want me to do? Thanks, Cadillac.
Lemon. All right, Dakota from Orlando. On the cusp of Hurricane Dorian bearing down on my state, I was running out to get some last-minute supplies when I discovered someone had stolen all 4 wheels off mine and several other cars.
Wow.
The thieves left each car on a set of blocks in the center with the rear brake pads resting on the asphalt. Now, thievery always struck me as a shitty thing to do, but stealing someone's method of transportation in a potential emergency situation feels extra scummy. So my question to you guys is this: what comical trap do I set up to catch me some scumbags?
I mean, they got the wheels. So it's not, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if you're coming
Look,
back. I was thinking of putting a stack of tires under the box propped up by a stick with a string tied to it, but I'm open to suggestions.
A1, start look on Craigslist for those models of your
Yeah.
tires and wheels and see about that, because you can call the cops and say, hey, I think these were stolen.
Yeah,
from me.
yeah.
That sucks, man.
That is extremely extra shitty.
Well, I live in Fruitvale
With
and I see that shit all the time.
I was gonna
No,
say,
but I mean,
I had my wheels stolen.
I mean, with the hurricane situation.
yeah,
though,
that's actually shitty. But
10
I mean,
times worse.
honestly, if evacuation's going on, probably a lot of thievery is going to happen. Let people stay
I
behind.
had
it.
like my motor stolen.
Yeah,
and
I've seen that
stuff.
too.
Like it was my car was in a shop for a long time getting worked on, and then so it was probably an inside job.
Yeah,
The shop
like in John
was-
Wick. Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly they were putting a different motor inside the car, and it wasn't until we got it back and said, "This is a 350, not a 327." Like that's a weird thing to do. What?
Yeah.
Like what? Oh, I don't know what happened.
That's
to
a
your,
lot of
your-
work.
I don't know what happened to your good motor.
Were you billed for the labor? It's hard to say at this point.
No, I don't.
Oh, man.
No.
What happened? Did you bring him up and?
No, I mean that was it. It was just like, all right, well, you fucked us over, and this motor's gone, and
Yeah,
all right,
Jesus.
and then also the wheels got stolen off of it
Yeah.
magically while it was sitting in their lot, and
Did they replace him at least?
that they took care
Good.
of. But like, so the wheels were hard to replace.
That's
at
a that's
the
a
time,
1-star
they were-
Yelp review in my
Yeah.
experience.
There was no Yelp then, but
Yeah.
yes, it was difficult to replace those wheels at that point,
Sure.
so they got similar wheels
Sure.
that were easier to find these days and worth way less money. And
Dealers have to do this all the time, I'm
Yeah.
sure, with stuff.
It was
But no, I live in Fruitvale and we see A1 bike theft. If you see a pile of bikes on a corner, it's usually
they're not rental scooters.
they're not. They've been stolen from people who probably couldn't afford to lose them. Really frustrating. But also, we are the East 12th Street and and across from International is a big dumping ground for stolen cars. So you'll see just the most wrecked out cars up on on blocks. I saw the engine ripped. Like, apparently, the engine had been like ripped out of a pickup truck with some kind of machine that just didn't care about the hood. It just like kind of lifted it out.
It's like chained it from you just ripped it through. Like that seems
like
bold.
property theft and like especially like car theft is a huge problem in SF right now. Like people breaking into cars, but like in terms of they're joyriding cars that just sit there for like weeks and months. Like nobody cares enough to report them. They just sit there. Half of them have been burned out or being lived in by homeless people. It's East
Chop
12th
shops are real.
Yeah, we had one get raided like a block away from our house.
Oh,
like
wow.
15 SWAT dudes showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It suddenly got a lot cleaner in that parking lot because I
Yeah.
think they had a lot of fucking weird. So they definitely had a pile of stolen bikes in the back.
Oh wow.
But for some reason they did something wrong and had like literally SWAT come out to raid this auto repair shop.
Yep.
Yeah, come over to
Axel
Fruitvale.
Foley just straight up knocking on it. Is this the illegal chop shop?
God damn it! Come over to Fruitvale sometime if you want to see some.
Yeah, I'm coming over this weekend.
Yeah,
actually.
some real shit, man. It's also people dump their trash in our neighborhood because they know the cops never come there. So they just come down to U-Haul and throw bags of trash out the backyard and just peel off.
Like where do
Fuck,
they get the
man.
fucking U-Haul at
God.
that point?
Dumpers are a big problem for film. I like living there. It's really fun. It's very
Action packed.
yeah. It's we've had gunshots go off in our driveway before too. So it's fun. You gotta keep your head on a swivel. So. I try not to use my noise canceling headphones when I walk home from Bart.
Cody from San Diego. On the last Bombcast, it was asked, do people rent coffins?
Oh.
As someone whose job is around death a lot, yes, they do. Coffins are very expensive. Actually, all the industries around death are quite the slimy business where grieving people are taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's common for people to rent a nice coffin for funeral services or open casket, and then have the actual burial be done in a cheaper one.
Or I assume they could go to cremation from the casket too, and just not use it at all.
Maybe.
I
I don't know how common it is to
I
have
have
a
no idea.
an open casket
casket and
service
then be cremated.
Then cremate is not
I wonder.
super common, but it might happen. P.S. Also being around death a lot. Knife beats bat. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
The player on the Sixers got in a big fight at an Eagles tailgate this weekend because he was wearing a Redskins jersey and he was a Redskins fan but they were playing in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Somebody had rented a casket for this legendary tailgater who apparently had passed away. It didn't actually have a body in it, but it had a Redskins jersey on top of it, like they were burying the Redskins. But the player, well, apparently it was a whole Philly fans been doing what they do. They yelled at a black guy.
Yeah.
But apparently he thought that it was a Sean Taylor jersey who had been murdered in a home invasion.
Oh,
It's not a fun casket story.
yeah.
But wound up like throwing haymakers at people in this Sixers player who very big dude. Apparently nobody recognized him and started harassing him, and it turned into a whole kerfuffle that is still ongoing. That's my fun casket story for this week. Not really fun. Sorry I brought it up.
A lot of that
Apparently
going
people do rent caskets to bring to tailgates. That's my point.
okay.
on. Okay.
Why wouldn't you? Fill it up with Dr. Pepper.
I was gonna say, yeah, you crack that thing open and it's full of, you get a casket that's like you could turn into an ice chest,
Do it, man. Why wouldn't you?
and then barbecue right next to it.
Do you think WWE...
And then you put the opposing team's logo on the
Yeah.
casket every week.
Just don't piss off an NBA player who happens to be walking
Yeah,
by.
well, yeah.
Do you think WWE had an official casket for
They probably had a
So
guy,
Paul
yeah.
Bearer,
Yeah.
the on-screen character Paul Bearer, was legit. He's a mortician. He had a mortician's license.
Why wouldn't you be? Did that come? Which came first?
The license
Okay.
came stuff. All
All
that
right.
stuff came first.
That was his gimmick when he got to wrestling.
No, it wasn't.
it
Like
was just
he
like-
wrestled. He did other stuff as Percy Pringle for years and years, and then found his
God.
way into this Paul Bearer character. And they're like, "Hey, man, I can get a casket.
I know people.
Hey, I know a guy. Oh, we need to do a shoot in the
It's
graveyard.
weird.
I know a guy.
Has to be really big, like 6'8", because this guy's huge.
Yeah, like
Man.
all the stories about that era of wrestling are fascinating. A lot of great podcast
Just want to see
stories.
the Undertaker pop out of one filled with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
That's part of a promotional thing.
They're not too far off from that. I'm sure there'll be Skittles. Fruity.
All right. Last email. Justin from Houston, Texas.
That's a long one.
Wanted to write in to get a sanity check on something I ran across a few weeks ago. There was a guy on one of those hardware porn type subreddits that posted a picture of a room full of brand new, relatively cutting edge PC components. When questioned about what they were for, he replied that he was planning to open a new LAN center not far from where I live. I know the area he mentioned, and my first reaction was to say, okay, sure, that seems like a good place for a LAN center. However, as I continued reading the thread, the comments quickly shifted into how much of a fucking dumbass this guy was for opening a LAN center in the United States in 2019. Many were even setting reminders to check hardware resale subreddits in 6 months. Apparently the over-under on when this guy would be going out of business. At first it seemed a little harsh to me, yes. But as I thought about it, I realized that, yeah, pretty much every LAN center I've seen in the last decade was usually gone within the first couple of years. In fact, the last time I had any desire to visit one personally, Twitter didn't even exist yet. So my question to you is, can the traditional LAN center actually turn a profit in this day and age? The proliferation of high-speed internet and powerful hardware seems to have mostly undercut the need for such a place to exist.
Yeah.
And the rise of things like barcades has helped to fill that niche for those who still prefer the more social gaming environment. What would it take to make the LAN center as a business relevant again?
Alcohol.
Kids.
If you were to open one now, what changes would you make to ensure it wouldn't languish like so many others? Is such a thing even possible?
So there's one opened in my local mall not that long ago.
Oh, you still have a local mall.
Yeah, well,
Fancy.
sort of.
Yeah.
It's, give it another 6
Sure.
months. It is a wasteland.
I bet.
The type of wasteland where you would open a LAN center.
Okay.
And I poked my head in there, and it was just a row of PCs running Fortnite.
Yeah. That's
And
the
their
weirdest thing.
whole pitch was like birthday parties,
Sure.
fucking soccer teams. Like their whole pitch was like the after event pizza place equivalent of like, bring kids here for a party and we'll let you play Fortnite on these PCs.
Okay, sure.
They do more of that.
Do they offer the pizza as well?
It seemed like that they had some kind. I don't know.
Okay.
You know what? I don't actually know.
That's
assume
what they
that
need to offer.
I would
is
assume
like-
that they would be like that. They would have food there.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, you can't. I don't think you can just make a living on the LAN center part of it. You'd probably have to say like,
I've got
we'll rent you the room. We will rent
Pizzas
you.
are $40.
We'll have the food. We'll cater this. And
I've got a favorite spot down in Atlanta called Battle and Brew, and they traditionally were like a LAN center. Essentially, they kind of branched off and started offering consoles as well. But they had a bar, and then they've expanded to like they have a full kitchen now.
Yeah.
Like you go there for food essentially, you know, and also
like maybe play some games.
Yeah.
Dave and Buster's would not exist without food and beverage going on.
Right. Yeah.
I think I've seen a lot of mobile LAN stuff go on, like big trucks full of video games. You drive to the kids' party, show up.
The game truck.
That's kind of what I've seen more than LAN centers now. So
franchise opportunities.
Hey,
get your own game
honestly,
truck.
not very many franchises for that kind of thing. I haven't seen very many.
I feel like the 2 game trucks I saw were definitely like fucking. You could be the game truck guy in your neck of the woods.
I feel bad for people like this. You see this a lot on Kickstarter where like people are raising money to open a game shop or a D&D shop or something like that. If you need to have this kind of, hopefully that guy had like a business plan and a business loan, because that's going to be way better to do this when the Kickstarter thing. It's great to be. The problem is that this guy, I'm sure, super enthusiastic. You don't do this business unless you are really into the idea of playing games with people and having that kind of fun stuff. But it is a risky business to play. But
it just doesn't seem like one that needs to exist.
Pure LAN. And I wasn't joking about alcohol. You need to, if you're going to an arcade or if you're going to play pinball, you should have a beer in your hand. And that's what everybody in the Bay Area does now. There's a ton
of arcades. Yeah.
I never go to any of that stuff.
It's if you're
like,
already out and about and you want to play some pinball.
Yeah, I guess that's
fun
part of it. It's like I'm just not going out, period. But like the idea only sounds like vaguely appealing to me on a regular basis. As like a one-off thing, like when we went to Shorty's, that pinball bar in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's kind of a different thing. There's like a bar with a bunch of pinball machines. I was like, that's cool. I would go here again specifically because they had pinball.
I mean, that was
on
just
top of being a bar.
That was just a way to see some new pinball machines that you hadn't gotten a chance to see before.
Yeah.
Man, pinball's just. I go to this bar called Radio in Oakland a bunch, and they just have this rotating. What's the really nice high-end pinball machines like Jurassic Park and Wizard of Oz? I forget the name of the company.
Jersey Jack is the Wizard of Oz guys, but there's like them and Stern.
They have like some kind of subscription service because they rotate it out like every month or so. Like a new one pops up, and they're always like they're all $1 to play. So
all right, here we go.
Those things are like $7,000, $10,000 in some cases.
I think
for
Wizard
like
of Oz was
limited
like
edition versions.
So
or
if you have
list of pinball machines, let's go.
Honestly, if they do, I wouldn't be surprised to see them do like a subscription service. Like, hey, we'll ship a new one out every month. We'll fix the one that came back. And
it's a lot of cases. So like a lot of locations are still run the old school way where you have a person who is an arcade operator, distributor. They get the machines and then they circuit them to the locations and then split the take with the owner of the bar or whatever.
I can't find,
that still exists.
I'm trying to find a list of machines sorted by date.
The dude I know that is a demolition derby driver is also in that business. I think he's still in that business.
I've seen people running around maintaining pinball machines. It's a the whole top part. If you've never seen it be serviced, they fold down on top of the window part, and they go in the back and they do all the maintenance that way. It's a weird thing to see. It's like seeing a dead horse or something like that.
Exactly. Pinball is a lot like a dead horse.
I just want to find a release list. I want to see like what the last, say, 10, 15 machines were.
We allow pinball on giantbomb.com, I believe.
We do.
I'm not sure if that list is up to date.
I would try to go to the Jersey Jack site or the Stern site and just see what they list there.
Yeah. Jersey Jack, man. It's a weird name. It just sounds too much like Jersey Mike's. Like, is he from Jersey?
I'm going to assume so.
They make high quality machines. They're expensive. Like, I don't care about how expensive they are as long as somebody has them.
Yeah.
JJP's newest invention, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The sweetest game in pinball.
So if you're listening to this,
that's not even out yet.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, you haven't seen these yet. They're basically pinball-sized machines, but they have a huge screen in the front that'll play video and do a lot of...
I didn't think that Wizard of Oz machine was very good.
I have ups and downs about every... Pinball machines go way too fast. They are always tilted up way too much in bars.
They want you to lose money. They want you to have a couple of beers so you play worse, and they wax the shit out of that play field.
Holy fuck. And then every path the ball has to come down goes right down the channel. And you can't fucking do it.
That's how they get you.
Go back 80 years or somebody ranting exactly like this. Like, they took my penny farthing.
The pins ball.
Apparently, Jersey Jack only has like 5 tables
they're
total.
They're relatively newish.
Okay.
Oh, is this a Stern one? Is Stern getting into the big screen?
Oh, you're
too?
right.
That's Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is a new Stern release.
Oh, so I guess they've taken like Stern had to adapt to it, but the big screen thing I remember was mostly a Jersey Jack thing, and I guess they're doing that too.
Oh, weird. They've got
it's cool.
Stern has a like for home section.
I want to buy
like affordable for home.
That's crazy.
Well, affordable's relative.
Yeah.
But because they do limited edition versions that they sell to home collectors that have like gold rails instead of silver, like weird shit like that.
But its maintenance is always the fucking kicker, right?
Oh,
yeah.
This Star Wars machine that they rate for home is $4,500.
That's not surprising to me at all.
And that's starting. Like it goes up from there. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, is that just like it doesn't have the top part at all? It just like has the board.
No, I think it's the
it
whole
would
thing.
have it would have the whole thing.
Weird.
Yeah.
Pinball. It
Pinball.
seems like we're in a pinball kind of
Still a thing.
honestly, what's the word? Reverie.
Renaissance.
Renaissance. Yeah, it seems like I've seen new stuff out there a lot.
Pinball and vinyl.
Pinball vinyl.
That's right.
Living in the 50s. We're all nostalgic for a past that was probably not as good as we thought it was.
Never going away. I declare that the end of emails.
I do declare.
Thanks, Brad.
Yes. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Thank you
Thank me.
for.
I was totally prepared to do a podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely did not just pull you in here
It's fine.
on a moment's notice. Now what?
So we're gonna take a pass on the after show this week.
Yep.
We're gonna look at Borderlands at some point. I don't know when.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I don't know how, but we will find a way.
I can't corroborate this, but I just saw some people on Twitter saying that apparently a bunch of streamers are going to start playing it today.
I'm not surprised.
Well, we don't have it at all. So, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Security.
Just a little
Security issues.
add a little cherry on top of the
I wonder if that's two different PR people saying different things to different people because they had to
Probably.
make up a story. It's just like, hey, just
Well,
Who
who
knows?
knows? Who can say?
bad. It's doing PR, man. It's a thankless fucking job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You're on the firing line across the board. It's a yes.
Yes, you're under pressure from all angles.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then that's kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
Gears is officially out today. We've got a quick look of that up on the site. I wanted, maybe we'll do something with the multiplayer. Like Escape doesn't sound like the thing.
No.
But maybe we'll play some Horde one of these days here.
Horde is still fun.
And I'll finish the campaign at some point. Like it's like I said, there's really cool stuff about that game, but it just seems like their attempts to freshen it up, I think, are the worst parts about it.
Yeah,
which is it's a bummer.
Yeah.
How do you think that? I'm outside perspective on Gears. Like I don't have a huge reverence for that franchise, but is this the game that is people looking for? You definitely doesn't seem like it'd be your thing, but
I mean, it is my thing. Like I've liked most of, with the exception of the one offshoot game. I've liked all those Gears of War games just fine. So like I'm
this is on the
I'm
blower.
invested in the story, all that sort of stuff. Like the stock gameplay of it is appealing to me. Of the campaign anyway, and Horde, like the campaign and the co-op generally. I'm there for it, as they say.
Good.
But
it seems half baked in ways.
Yeah, I think that the stuff they tried to do fell like falls flat, and as such, like also like it's still Gears. Like if you have your mind made up about that franchise that it's not for you, it's still not for you.
I want to see more of it. You guys should definitely get something together for a.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do some Horde.
Yeah,
and it's a really nice looking game.
Good.
Let's end this podcast.
Okay.
I'm tired of thinking about Borderlands right now.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right.
Maybe we'll talk about it more later.
There we go.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll be back with some stuff. We'll have quick looks throughout the week.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish that Doom stuff on Thursday.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're going to finish it.
John Romero, I am coming for you.
Oh, no.
And your 5th episode.
Are you going to make him... Wait, what do you... Wait,
Whoa! Tune in Thursday to find out.
Holy smokes.
It's going to be like Christmas in here, I'm sure. All right. See you next week.